evaluated the actual look of your wiener. She tells me mine's nice looking. Not gross.
Oh, dude, I did a love scene the other night. Oh, my God.
Oh, you did?
Oh.
What do you mean? Were you naked?
The poor actress.
Look at you.
No, I'm in a guinea T-shirt.
Oh. Did you shave your chest hair a little?
No.
Oh.
So hair is bustling out of the T-shirt?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and she wakes up so horrified because I still live with my mom in the movie, so we had just made love. I'm in a guinea T and underneath an AC/DC poster.
Who's the actress?
Again, her name is Cara Buono, who was on Third Watch for a little while. She's really talented. She's really, oh, my God, she's adorable.
Can you make out with her and stuff?
She's adorable, yeah.
Did Dana come down to the set?
She was actually there that night, and the actress has a boyfriend as well, and they're both real cool about it. I mean,
I guess Dana looked at you and said, you know, I'm not jealous. I don't think she's going to run off at all. You baby gorilla.
like the other guys, like her boyfriend, too, I'm sure was like, you know, it was like when Johnny Carson used to let Joan Rivers guest host. I think you know.
How many times did you have to shoot the makeout scene?
Well, we did 2 different angles, and I'd say 5 takes each, you know. Real closed mouth, though.
Oh, no open mouth kissing?
You mean she didn't get lost in the moment and open her mouth?
Yeah, I didn't hear her say, I'm getting myself on.
When I did my makeout scene with Mary McCormick, we totally opened our mouths.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Wow.
And I was wearing a fake mustache, so the little hairs kept coming out into our mouth. So that's how I knew I was getting my tongue down there.
At the end of the movie, The Bachelor, I have to kiss my wife, and it looked so horrible because neither one of us was into it. The director said, look, dip her. Just dip her out of camera and then do it because it'll look
It was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean...
They couldn't make it look good. There was no way it was going to look good.
No.
I was full-on macking with her, man.
Really?
I was going at it.
No kidding.
And she liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, she wasn't putting up any resistance. But I could tell. I go, are you offended? And she goes, no. I like it.
Well,
I said, you want it.
You know,
I was going to take her back to my trailer and do her, but I was married at the time.
You know what I can't wait for is we're shooting a bachelor party scene Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be all topless broads playing hookers. Because it's rated R, we threw breasts in there, you know.
Artie's really into this movie thing, even though it's like an independent, low-budget, $2 million film.
Still, it's a movie.
He shows me, he goes, I got to go do something really disgusting. I go, what do you got to do? He goes, well, I got to take a shave for my scene in the movie today, and I got to shave here at the radio station because I didn't shave at home. And he's got a shaving kit, and he goes, I got to shave in the K-Rock bathroom.
Yeah, I'd be afraid of getting a disease doing that.
That's going to be I just sent one of the interns for a Bic disposable and some Barbasol.
Really? Dude, you got a thick beard, aren't you? Don't you need to, like, shower and get, like, some heat on you?
I usually do that. It's going to be rough. I overslept today. I woke up at 5:20 today. I had to rush out the door, so I got to do it here. It's going to be brutal because the water in that bathroom doesn't get, like,
hot.
Unbelievably hot. Yeah, and it's going to be it's going to feel gross.
Oh, go use the ladies' room.
Have the interns boil up some water for you.
That'll be fun for one of our 19-year-old intern girls to walk in on me shaving. Hey, guys, how you doing? How's it working out here?
Yeah, and then Artie shows me he's got, like, he's got one of those binders with a book in it.
Daily planner.
A daily planner and, like, all his various medications that he's on because he can't drink.
The medicine is in there, too?
Yeah, like he's got everything organized, and he's showing me, you know, now I'm in the movie, and I'm a producer, so I got to organize. And I look at his binder, and I look in it, and I'm looking at his daily planner. It's from 1996.
Oh, geez, not even the right date.
Not even the right year.
What years ago?
I go, what do you got in that planner? He goes, nothing. It just looks cool. Like I'm doing something. That's some movie executive.
Carrying it for the look.
Yeah.
I make notes. I make a lot of very important notes.
Yeah.
For 1996.
Right.
I tell you, working at a radio station is so weird because... I mean, there's a million reasons why it's weird. It's always been odd to me. I always had weird feelings walking into radio stations, and I don't even know. I can't even explain it, but you're talking about, I don't know, Gary was saying how he was walking in the hall the other day, and he saw Dead Air Dave. And One of the guys said, he doesn't like to be called Dave because that's his radio name. He wants to be called Ashkaji
or whatever. I wouldn't know his real name.
He's got some sort of Indian name.
Oh, yeah.
Or Shanti.
Oshkosh by gosh.
Oshkosh by gosh. And I go, you're kidding? I go, I always call him Dave. And he goes, no, he doesn't like Dave because Kingston gave him the name Dead Air Dave.
No wonder. I mean, he always gives me a funny look because that's what I call him, Dave.
You want to know his real name?
Yeah, but wait a second. He said to Sal he wants to be called Dead.
Well,
Dead?
he'd rather be called Dead than be called his real name.
He'd rather be called Dead than his real name, or he wants to be called his real name?
I got the impression that he'd rather be called, he said, Sal called him his real name, and he goes, don't do that. And he goes, what do you want me to call you? He goes, call me Dead, call me anything, just don't call me that.
But then I heard that when he's with chicks, he wants to be called by his Indian name.
Right, that's what I heard, too.
So then why would he want us to call him Dead?
Well, we're not chicks, I guess.
Someone told me when, he's with a lady, he wants to be called by... Hey, Dave, I heard a story that you want to be called by your real name when you're with a chick and you're doing her.
I missed that part in the hall.
You want to be called Dave? I always call you Dave.
Or Dead.
Around here, that's what I'm used to.
You want to be called Ashkuzi?
No, that's all right.
Is that his name?
Dead is fine. Dave is fine.
Do you not like your real name or you'd like it?
I have no problem with my real name. Just around here, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
I'm Dave around here.
What is your real name?
I don't want to talk about it.
Really? All right.
He won't even give us his name.
I know it's something like a Ashkuzi.
Yeah, you've said it before, but it doesn't need to be rehashed.
What is it, Ata?
It's Dave.
Ata.
It's Dead.
Do you want to be called Dead or Dave?
Yeah, whatever, either way.
Dead Air? Dead Air.
I have a big identity crisis.
Yeah, you do. That's what's weird about, I worked at NBC, and there was a guy, Johnny Dark. And there's 20 Johnny Darks throughout the country at that point. And I called him Johnny. But I just realized now, talking about you, his name wasn't Johnny. And at what point does your radio name become your real name? Because
well, we call Cabby Crazy Cabby.
I know, but remember Johnny Dark?
You
called him Johnny.
I called him Johnny. I wouldn't know his real name.
Do you think that he wanted to be called Johnny?
I don't know.
There's a comedian, Johnny Dark, too, that works sometimes. I guess there's a lot of them going around.
Well, certainly my friends and family don't call me Dead.
All I know is, we're doing this this pageant thing today where we're going to find the hottest chick who's the biggest fan of the show. So one of the chicks who's playing claims that you had sex with her, and you wanted her to call you your Indian name.
That's got to be.
Now, is that in the throes?
That's got to be a bunch of crap.
Is that in the throes of passion, like that tape we play? Call me.
And
have you been searched on the subway yet?
No, I actually don't take it much. Only for Yankee games.
Dave's got that look.
Yeah.
He could be.
He could be a terrorist.
He could be a terrorist.
There you go again, Robin.
Where are you from, anyway?
I'm of Indian origin.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never know what your real name is. I would call you your real name. Yeah. Listen, this cat that I worked for the E! Network, his name was Lee Masters. I always just figured his name was Lee Masters. That was his radio name.
Yeah.
Then he worked for MTV, then he worked for E! And then one day he just shows up and goes, my name now is Jarl Moan. I go, what?
Excuse me?
Jarl Moan.
He's like P. Diddy, changing his name.
Just call him Moan.
Excuse me?
I call him Jarl, but it's really bizarre because he's always been late.
Because I know he's about to come back into business. Now, as a business person, is he still Lee Masters or is he Jarl Moan in business now?
Jarl Moan.
Really?
I was in a meeting. Half the people calling him Lee, half the people calling him Jarl. And I didn't. I was just so freaked out. You carry a backpack?
No. There's a chick here claiming that I said that.
Yeah. Your name should be Andy Gandy.
I'm getting nervous about this chick.
What caste are you?
Second highest.
Are you?
Yeah.
Brahmin?
So I was never going to be destined to, drive a cab or anything.
Are you a Brahmin?
That's the highest,
no,
isn't it?
it's the second one. I think it's Kshatriya or something like that.
No kidding.
Yeah, man.
You could have been a printer in India.
It's completely...
You could have had your own business.
It's horrible, the caste system. It's like they tell you what you're capable of.
See, I would have loved the caste system. My dad told me I was a moron my whole life. And if he would have said, look, when you become 18, you will become a shoe salesman. At least I would have known that I could do something.
Yeah, but you could have been an untouchable, and then he would have been right.
Oh, believe me, I was an untouchable. Would you date an untouchable?
I date anything.
Right. You want to meet the chick? Hey, Gary, is that chick here the one who says that she was with Dead Air Dave and had sex with him? She says she met you on the... she called you up on the listener line.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's meet her.
If you want to meet her.
Now, what if this girl was scammed by somebody who said they were Dead Air Dave?
Well,
I don't think I'm that popular, Robin.
Actually, I've used Dead Air Dave's name to get played.
but hey, there was this guy. There was a place. Remember after like 9/11? Oh no, it was like after Iran took the hostages. It was Iran carpet, and then they chopped the end off, and it became Ira carpet. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yes.
Oh wait, hey, you remember this chick, Dave?
Hi.
Hey,
Oh my
you're
God.
hot.
Oh
Dave,
my
you got
God.
her?
Trying to remember. Of course I remember. No.
You don't remember?
Are you kidding
You're
me?
totally I should take credit. Realistically, it would make sense to say, yeah.
Why did you say Why did you say you made love to Dead Air Dave?
I did not make love to Dead Air Dave. No, he took me out to dinner for pizza,
Right.
and then
It's like 100 years ago.
So
he remembered.
He does remember.
Yeah, we went out a couple times. Nothing happened.
You went out for pizza. Go ahead.
And then
Wait a minute. How did you meet him in the first place? Obviously, you called the airline, right?
yeah, I called because he was on the air and he was like, oh, it's raining out and next song is Bush. Like he was just complaining, and so like I called in. I'm like, what's your deal? And he was like, hey, send a picture in. So I'm like, all right.
You dirty
What else
dog.
am I going to do in there? It's like 3 in the morning.
Hey, I would do the same thing.
So
Yeah.
I sent a picture and he's like, hey, let me take you out to dinner. And
You're
he's a
pretty
vegetarian.
nice. You're pretty hot.
Thanks.
He's a vegetarian?
Yeah.
I didn't know. He's Indian.
Well, that doesn't necessarily go together.
What do you eat? Beans?
He eats pizza.
Lots of beans.
Beans?
Look at
I
the
eat that.
body on this broad.
Oh, you didn't hit that?
I should have.
You're damn right.
So listen.
I don't know what we're wrong.
Go ahead.
So then he comes out in his... So we go back to... He's like, oh, I just moved to Upper West Side. You should come over. See the place. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, no, just for like a minute. So I...
Trying to get her back to the place.
Oh, Upper
And maybe
East
I'll
Side.
tell you my real name. Yeah, go ahead.
So we go back there, and he's like, I got to take a shower. He's like, here, just watch TV for a sec. I'm like,
I don't remember that.
oh, my God, what do I do? So I'm like sitting there, I'm like watching like Channel 10 News, and then he comes out in his boxer shorts only.
You were like a hostage.
That is totally
It was like
made up.
Total porn store plot. I swear to God he did.
Complete BS.
I swear he did.
Complete
White
BS.
boxer shorts.
I would.
What do I have to gain?
I guess with
I've
that-
done a lot of scumbag things. That's not one of them.
I guess with that smoking little body, he figured you were ready for action.
Yeah.
So what happened? He comes out in his boxers.
And he sits like, seriously, he sits like on me. Like there's a big couch.
So making it up.
What do I have to
I
lose?
believe her.
I am going to sit on you.
Believe whatever you want. She's totally making that up.
Yeah, go ahead. Then what happened?
He puts in this old movie. I forgot. It's like from the 50s. It's his favorite movie.
What movie's your favorite movie from the 50s?
It's not from the 50s. It's
Car.
from the 70s.
What was it?
Car?
The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
she's a young chick. She
Great
figures it's
movie.
from the 50s. That's
This
funny.
was like 5 years ago.
How old are you?
27.
Yeah, okay. So you would have
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
That's your favorite movie?
Yeah, how do you think you're going to romance a chick with that movie? That's
Dude,
like
that's
a
a
murder
great-
on a train.
I don't know what I was thinking. It was 5 years ago.
By the way, that's a great movie. But it's not exactly Ghost when you're
not
trying
a
to talk to a
makeout
chick.
movie.
It's
Yeah,
not a
right.
romance movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you're sitting there, and you must have thought he was kind of cute if you went up to his apartment and stuff.
No, I just was being nice. He was nice. He was a gentleman.
Right.
Until
Yes.
Then what happened?
You're
What?
calling me a gentleman, but you're saying I came out of the shower with no shirt on?
you did. You came out in white boxer shorts.
You're totally full of it.
What do I have to lose?
So full of it.
Okay.
Then what happened, according to you? So he puts in Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm like, I really don't like this movie. I'm going to get going. And he's like, what's your favorite movie? So I was being funny, and I said Pimps Up, Hose Down.
Yeah.
And
God.
so I got out of there.
By the way,
and
that's hilarious.
He didn't
it's a
make out with
movie.
you?
No.
But
You
I thought
didn't
he
even kiss him?
No, I think I made it clear.
So what'd you do, Dave?
She made
Did
it
you-
clear. I remember that.
Did you pleasure yourself after she's left? Because she's
Probably.
kind of hot.
Sure, probably.
Kinda. Look at this broad.
Were you wearing that outfit on the date?
The same outfit 5 years ago.
No kidding.
No.
You always dress like that with a mini skirt and almost like a bikini top?
Always.
Those
Yeah.
are new boobs, right? I don't remember those.
They're a little bit new.
Wow, some bod.
Listen, Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Correct.
You mean Dave slips into that voice at home?
Well, yeah, I just like doing that to
Now,
girls.
what is this
Yeah, this is
about
all
him
an
wanting
act.
to be
Yeah.
called by his Indian name? When did he
Yeah,
bring
when
that
did-
up?
Oh, I kept calling him Dave. And
Because
he,
he's Dead Air Dave.
right.
Call me by my Indian name, bang you a lot.
So then when we were getting the pizza, he told me his real name. He told me a station manager made that name up.
Right. He hates that name, Dead Air Dave.
I hated it at first.
Right.
Would you like to hear me do a traffic report?
So what happened? Then all of a sudden, Dead Air Dave said, okay, I'm going to reveal my real name to you?
Yeah. He's like, he told me his name.
That's when he was in his shorts and taking a shower.
The big reveal. That's complete bull.
It's
Admit that's bull.
My real name is Doomy.
My real name is Sheikh Alahasasi Dumi.
I'm the Prince of Saudi Arabia.
I'm the Sultan of Brunei. On your knees, bitch.
You know what Artie's Indian name is? Dances with Jack Daniels. He's an American Indian.
Floated liver.
So Dave's in his boxer shorts, and then he's sitting next to you on the couch, and he goes, look, some general manager, some operations manager gave me that name.
No, he told me when we were eating pizza.
He says, here's my real name. And did he make you call him the real name?
I didn't want to mispronounce it, so I just didn't call him anything.
Do you remember the real name?
Yeah. Should I say it?
Can she say it, Dave?
Whatever.
Go ahead.
Is it a shook? Am I saying it right?
I can't believe you actually remember, yeah.
And so she must be telling some truth.
Yes, this is the truth.
I'm not denying that we went out.
She's more credible than you because you denied you ever saw her until she made you say it.
I didn't deny it.
No, as soon as you walked in, you go, I've never seen this girl in my life.
That's not at all what I said, Gary.
That's a lot what it was like.
Well, I think
No,
you
I
should
said,
take her.
I remember her.
I think you should take her home and have sex with her, is what I think.
I didn't deny anything, Gary. You're fabricating.
I don't think that's open for discussion.
Yeah, I don't think she's interested.
Did you tell you're one step below a Brahmin?
Maybe I should have.
In the caste system, and this guy would have had a major job. Wouldn't be some measly dish job.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing something special.
I'm in between a Brahmin and a roach.
Well, you struck out with her, man. She's hot.
Whatever.
Look at his brajol.
Who cares?
And you say you went out with him twice?
Well, then he called me. He was like, Cabby and I are going to see Depeche Mode. Want to come?
I wasn't going with Cabby, was I? I remember going to Depeche Mode with you. And trying again to bang her, and it didn't work.
But I want to see Depeche Mode. So.
Come on over.
You totally used him.
You look like a...
No, he was nice to talk to.
You look like the Yiddish Suzanne Summers.
Come on over. I'm showing another Walter Matthau movie.
Not the first time nor the last time I'll have been used for a concert ticket.
So you went to Depeche Mode and you didn't give him anything? You didn't give him a kiss? Nothing?
No.
Bitch.
But he bought the DVD set of Pimps Up, Hoes Down. That was the last time I talked to him.
It was funny.
When you went to Depeche Mode, did you call him a shook or did you call him Dead Air Dave?
I think I just didn't call him anything because I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Right.
Feelings.
I like that you came out in your shorts and you took a nice shower and you said, look, you need to call me a shook.
What, are you stripping now or something?
No.
What do you do for a living?
I finance mobile homes.
No kidding.
So what's the deal with the boobs? What did you need those for mobile homes?
Come on.
Them?
She's sick hot, man.
Oh, he's so angry at
Turn around. Let me see your ass. Look at that.
Look at you.
Can you blame me for trying?
No.
Howard, she was just on her way to get in her bikini for the contest. All the girls have to be in bikinis.
Oh, my bikini's smoking.
You'll be getting over a 7 from me in terms of the evaluatory.
I could tell she's already not that big a fan of the show, though.
We'll see.
Passed a big test to get here.
She did.
Somebody could have filled it out for her.
No,
Name
we
the
asked them on
three
the
of
phone.
us back here. Go ahead.
You're smoking.
She's no fan of the show.
You're 27. You got a boyfriend?
Yeah.
How long's your boyfriend been with you?
2 years.
Yeah.
He's
Does he give it to you every night?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'd work you over pretty good. Tell you that.
Yeah, he does the smart move and doesn't show you a 1973 Walter Matthau film.
Well, he has banged Artie's sister, so.
What?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Really?
Yep.
This is like all in the family.
Your boyfriend had sex with Artie's sister?
You should see the look on Artie's face. He's got murder in his eyes.
Yeah, now
new
he's
twist.
a killer.
Who is this?
Stacey Lang.
No kidding.
Oh, let's see
Bring
this
him in.
guy.
Well, let's hear this.
Who's getting Artie's sister?
Artie's
Look at him. He's totally not into this.
No, who is this?
Who is this?
What's the guy's name?
Hey, listen, your sister's sexual. She can have sex.
No, I know. What's the guy's name? What?
Keith?
Keith who?
Craigo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to meet him, Artie?
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah,
meet
bring him
Keith.
in.
Bring him in. No, Will.
You gotta love what our New Jersey audience does for this show.
Wow.
Artie, put down the vodka. You can't go back to drinking.
This is not an excuse for falling off the wagon.
Man.
We put him all
Anyway, my point of getting into this story was that Dead Air Dave has one of those confusing situations where he has a real name and a radio name.
And he doesn't know what to use.
No. Here's Keith.
Oh! This is
Artie's
the guy.
brother-in-law.
This is the man, Artie.
Oh.
How'd you get Artie's sister?
I don't know.
Where'd you meet her?
She doesn't look like Artie.
No, she's a good-looking girl. I met her.
Does Artie remember me?
No, I don't.
You actually met this guy.
Actually, a few weeks ago. You were drinking Jack. You were...
What was this?
So how'd I meet her?
Yeah.
In the town where she lives, Artie lives.
Oh, yeah? And you hung out with Artie for a while?
A couple times we hung out, yeah.
When, you pick her up in a bar or something?
Did I pick her up in a bar? They like to drink, that family.
Why are you so mad? Howard, you don't know your sister has sex?
No, I know. This isn't...
I've hung with Artie. This is so his Achilles heel. I got to tell you.
He's so mad.
Yeah, he loves that sister.
We were in Atlantic City like 4 years ago, the Cabby John fight, and one of the sales guys that works here knew Artie's sister just from hanging around.
Uh-huh.
And I joked that, Artie's sister went up to go to the bathroom and the guy left, and I joked that they went back to the room, that Artie was going to go nuts.
So how come you didn't marry Artie's sister? What happened? What went wrong?
I didn't marry her?
What went wrong?
I guess neither one were the marrying type.
Yeah. You see, just went out a couple of times. You guys had some great sex.
Hung out.
Sex was good.
Yeah.
And then you went your separate ways.
Pretty much,
yeah.
How many times did you bed Artie's sister?
Did I what?
Bed Artie's sister.
Oh, bed Artie's
well, maybe that's
sister.
better left unsaid.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
not here to
maybe
say that.
he's
Let's not brag.
Tell kind of guy. But she was good, is what you're saying.
She's very fun.
She's a nice girl, is what you said.
She's a very nice girl,
right,
yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't say
you
anything
liked
bad
her.
about
You liked
She's
her.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Man,
Artie is still...
What's with you, Artie? Why are you having a weird
he's
reaction?
not even involved in the conversation.
I had nothing to do with it.
I know you had nothing to do with it.
What do you want from me?
Nothing. I don't want anything from you.
Oh, God.
What did I do? Guy went out with your sister. Big deal.
You were having fun with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Wait, what
Artie's weird. You're the one who asked to meet him, not me. I didn't know. Yeah, he said bring him in.
No, he didn't.
He did.
There's nothing to be angry about.
Well, yeah, what's the
right?
big deal?
Yeah, you never misused or abused your sister. It was a nice
You
relationship.
didn't rape her.
No.
He's not even trashing her. He's saying she was a good girl, nice girl.
She's a very nice girl. I would never say anything
No,
bad
Artie's
about
weird. Listen, my daughters go out with guys. I don't have that weird reaction. They're my daughters.
Right.
Right. Is he going to start drinking again?
Wow.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna start drinking.
He might start killing.
You might want to wait at Nobu during the show.
What did he do?
Yeah, what did I do?
I don't know, but Artie looks very strange right now.
Artie's got a thing with that sister and that mother.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
They're a very tight family. They're a close family.
Yeah. I guess you know.
You hung out with Artie, though.
Just a couple times we were out with his sister and.
Really?
Yeah.
And he doesn't even remember you.
No.
Well, maybe he was
Drinking
high.
days.
Yeah. He's probably wasted.
Yeah.
So you will go out with your sister and her dates?
No.
Oh.
I don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Well, he's probably happened to be at bars that,
Oh, you just have to run into him.
Are you for real? You're really mad
My
at this
sister
guy?
doesn't like to drink, by the way.
Oh.
She's not a drinker. She drinks sometimes. She doesn't drink like me.
Nobody could drink.
She doesn't have.
We know that.
She doesn't have.
There isn't a person on the planet that could drink
She
like
doesn't
you.
have problems like me. She's a nice girl.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it.
Why, do you think he was saying she wasn't a nice girl?
Whatever.
You know what? He's gone a little KC on us here. Like a little.
You're insane.
Nah, whatever.
Sit down. You're insane.
Everything's cool, man.
You're nuts.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear.
Is Artie one of the judges?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
You're dead.
It's funny. He was loving her until this guy came in.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
I know Dead Air Dave wasn't loving her.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my point being, aside from Artie's drama, is that radio guys have these confusing names.
Confusing lives.
Yeah.
Do you feel a little schizophrenic, like you don't know who this Dave guy is?
Who?
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking Dave. Like, does he not relate to that name at all?
No, it's all
good. It's just, I mean, who wants to mix up names at work?
Yeah.
You know who I hear is changing his name for radio is Dan the Song Parody Man.
What is he doing?
He dropped I found out he was Jewish. He dropped the Jewish last name.
It's something man, and he took I think it's like Goodman or something. No, it was Cooperman.
And he became Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
The Dead Air Dave story, I heard that boxer story so long ago, so that definitely was not.
I heard you changed your whole name.
Yeah, no, my name has always been Cooper, and I don't even know what my grandfather's real last name, but it was one of those Ellis Island deals where he gave him some crazy name, and they just wrote down Cooper.
I thought, because I never knew you.
The whole thing's just because Bob Levy is an alcoholic, so he used to always think my name was Cooper, even though I told him Cooperman, even though a million times I told him Cooper, but we always hung out and, getting wasted and stuff like that. He would just never remember my real name, so he's told a lot of people my name is Cooperman, even though we've known each other for years.
All right, who cares? Listen. All right, Dan, thanks for clearing that up. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break.
Sit down, Artie.
Hey, sit down, Artie. You're acting retarded.
I'll do whatever I want.
You're acting weird. You got anybody back there who's ever had sex with Artie's mom?
As a matter of fact.
That's really make his head spin.
You don't know your sister goes out on dates? Your sister's a sexual guy.
Of course I do.
A sexual woman.
It's nobody's business.
But Artie, first of all, he didn't come. They didn't book themselves on the show for this. It just sort of unfolded, and he didn't say anything bad about her.
No.
I didn't even say I had sex with her. I just we went out.
Your girlfriend did.
What'd she say?
She had sex with
that Artie's sister had slept with her boyfriend.
Oh.
Look, of course there's nothing wrong with that. It's just nobody's business.
We dated a few times.
I don't like when my stupid life affects other people in my family. That's
all. Well, he dated your sister.
Jeez.
Well, that's completely fine.
That's all I'm saying.
He actually seems like a nice guy. I'm just saying.
He's not saying if she had sex with him.
No. I don't even care if that happened. I get that happens. I just don't want to blurt it out all over the place.
I don't want to hurt Stacy's nun career, because I know she's about to embark on a nun career.
It's not even about that, man.
Right,
it's not even about that.
I understand.
Okay. Nobody's saying... I mean, what did we say? We didn't say anything.
Nothing.
I didn't say anything.
Nobody's saying anything.
I was just trying to make sure we didn't say anything.
I'll give you Casey's phone number. You can give him a call.
You two can talk each other down.
All right, everybody take a break. When we come back, we're going to find the hottest chick, biggest fan contest. And what's the prize?
$10,000.
Whoa.
Who's giving us the prize? Where's the plug?
Well, we're not starting the contest yet.
All right, but I would give him a plug to give him $10,000.
Yeah, they could use an extra plug.
It's a Trip in the Rift on tonight, 10 o'clock, Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, come on, give me the plugs. What's going on? I know with you. I wish you luck, honey. I'm giving you a big-ass vote.
Got to see everybody.
I know. I hear you.
Thank you, Howard.
Dave, sorry you didn't score with this chick.
Yeah, good luck.
What is that guy got that Dave doesn't have?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Dave's as good-looking as that guy.
He didn't come out in his underwear. So.
Right. He acted like a gentleman.
He had the right move.
Such bull.
All right, so thanks to Trip and the Riff, we will have a $10,000 prize.
If a girl knows a lot about the Howard Stern Show.
Yeah. And this girl evidently saw Dave's apartment. Nice apartment?
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's big. Mm-hmm.
Big?
She saw the old one. It was like 5-6 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. I was in college.
How's he look in his underwear?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Not good enough to jump.
Just being nice.
I think Artie scared everyone in the room.
It's bull, though. Maybe boxers and a T-shirt, but not without a T-shirt.
What do you have to take a shower for when you take a girl home to your apartment?
Robin, I don't remember. It was like 6 goddamn years ago.
You have to take a shower so you get your clothes
Who
off.
the hell knows?
How else are you going to get your clothes off?
Yeah. You might have moved too fast on her with getting into your underwear.
I might have been delusional. Might have been a 9-hour day. I have no idea.
All right, we're going to take a break. And
Artie's going to pull himself together.
Artie, you try and pull yourself together.
Artie's going to do whatever the hell he wants.
Okay, what did we do? Shut up.
In life and everything.
What is your problem?
What is going on here?
All right.
Are you acting like you want to get this out of your chest? Like,
Vent.
Can I ask a question, Artie?
It's a free country, and I can do whatever I want.
Artie, can I ask you a question?
I choose to say nothing right now.
For whatever you're feeling right now, who do you hold most accountable? That's still all I need to know.
Nobody.
Better not be me. I didn't do anything.
Nobody. I don't hold you accountable.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm just saying. You know, some things I like being left private.
Okay.
But I understand also that it's a double-edged sword. You can't have that with this show. So, you know.
It just happened to come up. I'm sorry.
I know. It just happened to come up.
Yeah, I had no pre-warn on that, if you're thinking that.
I don't think that at all.
Yeah, this wasn't the plan.
No. I know it wasn't.
We thought we were talking about Dave.
I know.
Yeah, the play story was the funny story.
The plan was to attack me.
I know.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Gary, from now
Artie
on,
was all for that plan.
no one from New Jersey.
That's it. It's
on the
Jersey.
show. Yes, Marianne from Brooklyn.
Artie, your sister didn't murder anybody. She went out on a date. I can't believe you. Artie, you were in love with that girl. You were saying how hot she was, and as soon as that bomb was lowered, boy, Artie, you changed 180 degrees. Shame on you, Artie. Lighten up. You're a party fun guy. What's wrong with you?
No, I'm not.
No, he's not. He's not
Artie,
party.
my God.
I have no party.
Christian, you're on the air.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah.
So, this guy Artie, he thinks his sister's Mother Teresa or something.
No, I don't. It's about a privacy thing.
It's her story. It's not Artie's.
You know.
I understand the difference.
Of course I know that.
The poor guy, you know, he sobers up, and then he doesn't even remember hanging out with this guy.
I'm very sober.
Rich, go ahead.
Believe me.
The one moment we get to see Artie pissed off and angry, the E-cameras are not there.
I know. Do you believe this? This is what I'm talking about.
that look.
I'll never know what that look looks like forever.
I know. And I'm looking at it. It's not fun.
Yeah, you're sitting right next to him.
I think I saw Jason getting some pictures.
Yeah, Jason got some pictures.
Did you get pictures of Artie's look?
No, believe me, I have a very self-destructive, violent part of me that's, like, bad.
I got to get those out there, man. I've never seen a stare
Yeah, I
like
think that guy should be locked up, actually.
It looked like somebody had taken a dog turd and put it right underneath his nose.
I think it looked attractive.
Like his lips curled up.
Hey, look, it's not us.
I didn't do that.
No, that's fine. That's joking around. That's joking around.
Yes, Hook knows.
Come on, Howard, you'll know too bad. So listen, wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall in Artie's next psychiatrist session? Oh, my God.
There's no psychiatrist sessions.
What?
Are you canceling them?
I'm doing whatever the hell I want.
I think we just tripped a wire here or something.
Yeah, you just had a whole epiphany.
Hey, Artie, what time we meeting at the bar later?
I gotta shoot the movie.
Thank God.
All right, let's take a break. I really do want to get to the contest, and we're running late, and Artie's girlfriend, Bob Saget's, coming in.
All right. Maybe she can come.
Saget will calm me down. No, I'm telling you, because when I was at the port as a longshoreman, I used to have, I had issues of like, you know.
Anger?
Well, you know.
I can imagine. I looked at the look. I could see it.
What was your issue? What would you do?
You know, like I say, it had nothing to do with booze. I mean, you know, every once in a while, you throw a punch here and there, and you know, it's like, I mean, forget about it.
Who are you going to punch, Fred?
I'm not punching anybody anymore.
Artie,
I'm done with dealing with cops and punches.
Were you the guy that you'd hang out, everybody would be having fun, he'd be telling jokes and everything, and then all somebody tells a mother sister joke, and
He's like Joe
it's
Pesci.
not funny?
Jokes I have no problem with jokes because I joke around.
Right.
I just don't want. You know, I love my sister. I know she goes out and has a good time and does whatever she wants to do. But this is my life.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like
Artie's real sister Stacy, you're on the air.
Of course, this is gonna happen.
Artie, you don't want to punch me, do you, Artie?
I don't want to punch anybody.
I didn't bring this up.
I don't want to punch anybody.
The problem is he doesn't want to know you.
Choke, you're on the air.
It's not even that.
Hey, Artie, why you turn into such a big baby? Wah. Artie will do whatever Artie wants. Wah.
That's right. I'm going to do whatever I want.
But no more psychiatrist?
He's an adult.
No more psychiatrist?
I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Artie. Good Lord.
You stopped seeing the
What
shrink?
does this show do?
I'm not going to see anybody to please anybody anymore. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
No, I'm just asking you. Are you still seeing the shrink? Don't do it to please me.
Every once in a while, I see him. Not as much anymore.
Oh, you stopped.
Wait a second. Who are you seeing him to please? Me?
Yeah.
Why me?
Because you seem to want me to do it.
I don't want you. Hey, I gave you the name of a shrink. I don't care if you ever go. That's not my business. That's your business.
Right.
You're thinking I want you to go see a shrink?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I said to you, it helped me. Maybe this will help you, friend. Here's the name of a guy.
And now you're what? Punishing Howard by not going?
Because I said to you something else for
I'm
me?
not punishing anybody. I'm just doing whatever the hell I want to do.
Wait a second. You said you were going to the shrink because of me?
Absolutely.
You're insane.
Well, that we knew before.
That's
Dude,
obvious.
I talked to you, I said to you, I said, Artie, I see a shrink and it helped me. If you want the name of one, I'll give you one. You said, yeah, give me the name of one. I really want to see one. And I gave you the name.
It's not helping.
Well, it's it doesn't help
Artie,
in 3 days.
you got to stick with it.
It's not helping.
Yes, it is. You've been much better.
How many total sessions have you seen the guy, though, Artie? Probably less than 8?
3 times.
You can't... That's like saying I didn't learn. I took 3 piano lessons.
Casey used to go, it doesn't work. How many times you go? Once.
I'm doing fine. I got to finish shooting this effing movie, and then I can relax.
With what? Drinking?
Yeah.
Oh, you devil, you little devil.
What little devil? That's it. That's what I do. I get up, I eat, I drink. That's what I do. That's how I exist.
Oh, goodness.
And I didn't make this the suggestion to a psychiatrist. Other people said it to me, and that's when I got the name.
Actually, he made you. All you did was give him a name. He had to make the call. He thought he was doing it at the time for himself. Now he's making it about you.
Yeah, don't do it for me. Don't do anything for me.
Nobody told you to go anywhere. We asked you to come to work. That's what we asked you.
I just asked you to show up for your job.
I like
you were in bed, curled up in a ball.
I like you. I appreciate you, and you did a lot for me. And sure. It was
so you went to 3 psychiatrist sessions?
No, but it's just like I drive myself crazy thinking. I got an offer to go to L.A. for a month to do a movie.
Right. I know your manager contacted me.
It's a big movie.
Yeah.
Good. And I'm thinking about not doing it because I want to please everybody else.
No, you should do it.
You should go do it then. You do what you have to do in life. Hey, you got to evaluate. Maybe this, like your manager wrote me, it's a good opportunity for Artie. I go, well, maybe this is a good opportunity for Artie.
Of course it is.
That's all. But you can do what you want. I never once said to you, don't do what you don't want. Do what you want.
I've been doing stand-up on the road for 15 years. I can't keep doing that. They're going to find me dead. I'm dead in the Best Western in St. Louis. I don't want that to happen.
I offered you a job here so that you could live in Jersey, be an asset to the show. Right. Your career is flourishing. You're doing well. You're getting your choice of projects, your DVDs are selling. Anybody who is associated with this show does well. So why would you be angry? You got an offer to go do a movie. What are you angry with me for? I'm not telling you what to do.
Well, right, but obviously you'd have an issue if I left.
Do whatever you want. You do your thing, man. You got to make choices in life. You're a big boy.
Everything.
Don't blame me. Blame yourself.
That's what you keep saying that's wrong. I'm not blaming you.
Yes, you are. You're saying you're going to be disappointed in me.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just, I'm mulling it over in my head, and it's driving me crazy.
You got a great thing going on here. I mean, you got a great offer out in L.A. to do a movie. I saw your fellow cast members. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, there's movie stars in it, and it's a director who's got a lot going on.
And I think you got to make a decision what you want to do in life. Listen, I get offered all kinds of things. Some of them I can do, some of them I can't.
Right.
You know what this is equivalent to, Artie?
You don't like being in charge of your life.
This is equivalent to having a TV show and getting offered James Bond, like Pierce Brosnan. He couldn't do James Bond then because he had a TV show.
Or he could have done it and dropped the TV show.
No, they wouldn't let him out of his
Here's what it is. I'll make it easy.
The deal I have here, I can do whatever I want.
I never would hold you to do anything.
Right.
I'm that kind of guy. I got news for you. Anybody on this show, whether they know it or not, has that deal with me.
You made it pretty damn clear that if I left for the 3 weeks, you were going to be aggravated. I
made it clear because you were shooting in New York, and I knew when you came up to me and asked you asked for my opinion. Don't forget that. You shouldn't have asked for my opinion.
I sort of said,
you said to me, let's review. I'm going to tell you how you're being a little boy here, and you're not accepting responsibility. You come up to me, Daddy, and say, Dad, I want to go.
I don't think you're my daddy.
Okay.
You're not my father.
But you treat me like I'm your father.
My father ain't around anymore.
You treat me like I'm your father. You're saying to me, hey, Dad, I don't want to be in this position. You're putting me in the position. Dad, what do you think of this? I got a job for a movie.
Right.
And I'm shooting in New York, and I got to leave for 3 weeks. I said, oh, why do you have to leave for 3 weeks if you're shooting in New York? Well, they can't figure out how to make a schedule. I said, well, I bet you they could. Bet you they could figure out how to make a schedule. It's up to you to say, listen, my job is important here, and I can do both, and it's a sacrifice. And lo and behold, you went back and found out you can do it.
But what you're forgetting is, of course I was able to figure out a way to do it. It was about making my life not insanely crazy. Like, we don't have the budget.
So then you should have gone. So you should have gone and just done the movie.
In between shots, I'm sleeping on a piece of plywood. I need, you know what I mean?
Welcome to the real world.
It would have been a lot easier to do the movie.
So you should have done it. I said to you, you can do what you want. If you ask my opinion, I would do both. That's me. You're asking my opinion.
Right.
And it's just like this. I get offered a lot of stuff. You know, here's a funny thing. I get offered 5,000 things a day. Not only work-wise, but in my personal life.
Right.
Like, I'm with one woman, but I could also be with 50. But somewhere inside of me, I say no. Sometimes I say no to alcohol. Sometimes I say no to drugs. Sometimes I say I can limit myself. I'm able to say no. Something is bad for me. I'm not going to do it. And it's the same way you're going to have to limit yourself with whatever you do in life. You can't blame me. If you got an offer for a Hollywood movie, you got to say to yourself, okay, the Hollywood movie came. Maybe it came about because of the show. Maybe it didn't.
Of course
and then you
it
say
did.
to yourself,
That's not the situation.
They're asking me to be away for a month. You don't even have to ask my permission. That's our deal. You can go leave for a month.
I realize that.
You can leave for a year.
I realize that. But, of course, you know, you have to know what's going on. And I would assume you'd comment on it. And when you commented on it the way you did...
Wait a second. Did you come to me? Your manager writes Gary an email telling me you're going to be gone for a month. You want me to now comment on it?
No. He wrote an email. They
wrote an email to Gary. Artie got an offer. It would be really... This is a great opportunity.
They want me to do it. I am thinking about it.
So if it's a great opportunity for Artie, take it. This is a great opportunity, too. Weigh it out and do what you want. You're a big boy. It's the same way you said, I don't want to drink right now. You said no to yourself.
Right.
Now you got to decide. You got a lot of good things happening all at once. Don't ask me to make the decision. You make the decision. It's not about me. It's about you. The world is your oyster.
I know what just happened here, because I was like, how did we get into this conversation?
It's Lori's fault.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
Artie's pissed that his sister's life got brought up on the show, and that's why he's saying, I'm now going to do whatever I want, because I was making sacrifices for this show, but if this is how I'm going to be treated now, I'm going to do whatever I want.
No, it's not about being...
That's exactly
He's mad at me.
happening.
The girl
You're
goes,
getting upset
don't be mad at me. What did I do?
I don't feel like I'm being treated poorly here ever.
But, Artie, why would this all of a sudden be coming up in this conversation? This is exactly what brought it up.
It just led to this.
And that's what led to it. Now you're pissed because...
You're mad at me. All these guys get mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
What did I do?
Oh, well.
Listen, I'm a fan of yours.
I swear to God I'm not mad at you.
I'm a fan of yours, right?
I'm mad at the situation I'm in.
All right, look. You're mad because someone's offering you a movie?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell to do because, I mean, believe me, I know this business.
I'm going to tell you a story.
I'm
going to tell you a story,
okay? It could fail, and then that's it.
I'm going to tell you a story.
I'll be working at a deli.
I'm going to tell you a story, okay?
Which I'd be good at, by the way.
I'm going to tell you a story, Artie, and you take what you want out of it.
All right, go ahead.
A couple of months ago, a guy came to me. He's a very famous director-writer of movies.
Right.
And he sent me a script. And he said, this script is for someone else, a very, very famous actor. I thought of you, and I think you would be great in the role, even better than this great actor, an actor I really respect.
Right.
And I read it, and I loved the script. Artie, this is a very funny script, and a role that I feel would maybe get me an Academy Award. What do you think of that?
Okay.
That's how good I think the role is and how good I'd be in it.
I think that's unbelievable, but go ahead.
Okay. This director has directed... This director's maybe one of my favorite directors of all time.
All right.
Okay. That's how good this guy is.
So it's Bob Saget.
No, it's not Bob Saget. So listen to this.
But somebody like
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about setting limits and having a hard time.
Okay, go ahead.
So I read the script, and I say, I'll do it. I'm going to be in.
All right.
And what it means is I'm probably going to have to shoot for 2 months, do the radio show, and do this movie.
Oh, so they were shooting here.
They would be shooting here, yeah. So, and I said, I'll do it. I said, I'm going to satellite in January. I said, I have to devote myself to satellite at least by the end of October. The only 2 months I can give you is September, October. The guy goes, okay, look, it's going to be rough, but I can do it. I can shoot you in September, October, and but I got to move quick. I said, okay.
In L.A. or here?
Here.
Right.
Okay. I'm the lead character.
Okay.
All right. So, lo and behold, they call me back. They go, look, We got everything all lined up, but we're going to have to shoot October, November. I sat down. I go, this is the movie that I've been waiting for. It's the role I want.
Right.
This is a Howard Stern film without me having written it, but it's my role. It was as if it was destined for me.
Yeah.
And I love acting. I do. I love it. So it's October, November. I sat down. I said, well, I got a commitment to Satellite. I want to go out and promote Satellite. I called him up and I said, I can only do September, October. Now, inside, I was dying. This meant I had to say no to something. He goes, I can't get it together that fast. I have to go with someone else. And that's the end of my movie. Now, the reason I tell you this is not that you should do the same thing.
Because you realize I ain't you, Howard.
No. But I mean, you are you. Artie, you've got a lot of good going on in your life right now.
Okay, yeah.
And you got to recognize it.
All right.
Your life is straightened out. You're on a roll.
Not really.
No.
Not really.
That's your professionally. I don't know what you're doing.
Professionally, my life's been good for a decade.
All right.
You know, but personally, you know, I'm out of control.
All right.
Well, wait a minute. Whose fault is that?
Mine. I'm not blaming anybody, Robin. I'm taking responsibility.
So if you go to L.A. and do the movie, is your personal life going to get better?
No.
It's going to get worse.
No.
I don't understand how he brings that up.
He says he goes to L.A. and he goes insane.
Let me ask you something. Here's what I worry about, because me and you have sort of become friendly, too, right?
Yeah.
Okay? On a certain level, we're friends. I mean, it's not like, you know...
No, you're my friend. Go ahead, yeah.
You know. Well, I consider...
I love you.
I love you, too, but I consider...
You're a pleasure to work with.
We have more of a business relationship than friends.
Whatever. If you call this business, this is hardly a business to me. But go ahead, yeah. I sit and talk to you for 4 hours a day.
We actually make a living doing
What do you want to say?
What if I came to you and I said, look, man, I can only go to Satellite with you for a couple of months because I have a great opportunity moving to L.A., to do a sitcom. I'm going to roll the dice. It's like I'm a fat guy who could get a sitcom,
right.
And in 7 years, I could be worth $1 billion.
I'd say go do it. Do whatever you want. I told you that. What do you think went on with your contract at Satellite? But what went on with your contract at Satellite? I didn't want it. I said to you, don't even sign a contract or do it for a year. Do it for whatever you want. I don't care.
But he has a corollary. What were you going to say after that? Would you still be friends? Is that what you were going to say?
The people at Satellite felt, hey, we're making a financial commitment to Artie. He could give us a year. In other words, we're putting something on the line here. Maybe Artie could give us a year. That's what their feeling is.
Right.
My feeling is this. I don't need you. You want to leave tomorrow. Leave.
I know you
didn't hear the other part of his question.
I didn't say I didn't need you. I want you here. I spent months looking for someone to sit in that chair. Maybe a year's.
Right.
You're the guy. That's your job.
Right.
But, Howard, you didn't hear the other part of his question. He's also afraid if he leaves, he'll lose your friendship.
No. You never lose my friendship.
It's important to me.
You do your thing. You do what's best for Artie.
See, I think he's looking for not just for the answer of go do what you got to do. I think he's looking for your blessing, which is
different.
Blessing
to do what?
But it's different.
I know you're not going to have my blessing because, quite frankly, if you asked my opinion,
you want me here.
No, it's not. I want you here. I can't believe that movie.
Right.
Is a better opportunity for you than to be here.
F the movie. I'm talking about, like, obviously, my best roll of the dice in this business, like, looking the way I look.
Why are you fixated on this? Let's say a big sitcom comes up.
Right. Okay.
Leave and go do it.
Great opportunity.
And I will try to do what I can, and I have to do what's best for this show.
Right.
You understand that?
Of course I understand.
Right. If you leave to go do a sitcom, that's it. I got to go find someone else. Of course.
So you don't mind me sort of asking for a short-term commitment at Satellite Radio?
I've already. I thought you were already past that.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not.
I heard you were.
No, I'm not. It's not. Nothing is resolved.
I heard it was resolved.
All right. Well, that's not.
I heard. Someone called me up and said Artie doesn't want a 5-year deal. Blah blah blah. I said it's okay with me.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because that was never relayed to me. There's a lack of communication.
I said Artie's deal with me has always been he can leave whenever he wants.
More important, Right, but the satellite's a different issue. It's a big undertaking you got going on over there, and I get it.
Satellite is saying if we're paying Artie money, and they feel it's a good amount of money, and if you feel it's a good amount of money...
But let me just say something to you.
They want a year commitment, but I personally, I don't care.
Without getting into figures, and we're not sounding like a jerk, I made more on the Norm Show than what they're offering me.
So you're in radio now. Welcome to the nightmare. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is this. Your deal can be, you can leave tomorrow. And that can always be your deal. That can be your deal. And your manager should know it. Your agent should know it.
Right.
All your people should know it.
I have an amazing agent. I have an amazing manager. They look, but here's where the shrink should try to fix me. The insane guilt I have of leaving you guys because I love everyone here to death personally.
But why are you fixated on this?
And you're the reason I have these opportunities. And I'm like,
well, then you weigh it out. If this is the reason you have these opportunities, and this is why your name is out there.
I lose sleep over it. I'm like, the reason I could get a sitcom.
Do you have a sitcom? Do you have a sitcom?
There's several opportunities that I've turned down in the last year.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story.
Right.
Jay Thomas had a really good radio career. He was here at 99X in New York.
Right.
And someone said to him, we're going to hire you for the Mork and Mindy show. While it was on the air, biggest sitcom there ever was, Mork and Mindy, one of the biggest on the air at that time.
While it was on already.
While it was on.
They're going to create a character for
They created a character for Jay Thomas.
Right.
He quit his radio gig, moved out to L.A., took Mork and Mindy. The show was on for a year and then tanked. That was it.
Right.
And Jay's never recovered radio-wise. Now, that's his career trajectory.
Howard, look, I know.
I look at that. You got to know, you got to know how many holding deals they got in L.A. for sitcoms.
Howard, I've had 4 of them.
Ask Bob, what's his name? No, not Bob Saget, Bob Schimmel.
Hey, can I ask Artie a question?
I've done 1 million projects in this business, Howard. 2 of them I've considered successful. This show and my DVD. You can call Mad TV stayed on the air for 10 years, so maybe. But everything else is just marred with failure. I get it. Like, I know about failure. That's what show business is.
Artie,
but you can make a lot of money in failure. I get
then go back to failing and make a lot of money.
You know what? I got to say something here, Artie. Wait a minute.
What do you want from me?
Listen to me for a second.
What is it you're asking me for?
I'm willing to roll...
What do you want? Tell me what you need.
I'm not asking you anything. I'm just expressing my feelings of how, like, if I went to do the sitcom, what's bugging me is feeling guilty.
Why? I'm telling you I don't care. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel guilty if you screw up your career.
And if that happens, fine. At least I know I took the shot.
Well,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I took the
You told us there was one sitcom you turned down because you knew you'd be miserable doing it.
Right, but that's not always the situation. There's a couple that I think I would have loved.
Artie,
and you turned them down?
Yes, I did.
Here's what you got.
Yes,
you got the manager. You got the agent. They're whispering.
No, I know.
Whispering.
I know what they're whispering.
Look at me. Look. Whispering.
Yeah, I get it.
Artie, we've got fame and fortune. Your own fame. It's going to happen. You know, Jackie got the sickness.
But Howard, let me tell you something. When I was a longshoreman, there were guys saying to me, "You're an idiot for trying to be in show business."
No, I'm not saying that. And I'm telling you.
I'd be loaded
orange
juice in Newark right now.
If someone comes to you and says, "Artie, we have a sitcom," Frank Sebastiano writes Dirty Work 2, and he says we're going to go write it.
That ain't going to happen.
All right, well maybe you will. But if that's it, and that's the thing that is your career path,
right?
I would always wish you well. You don't have to feel guilty for a second. I'm blessed that you were here for the short couple of years you were here. I would like you to be with us when we go to satellite and be with us in future projects. If that is giving you pain and angst and pressure, you don't do it.
If it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go.
Get rid of it. If it's time to go, it's time to go.
Howard, can I ask Artie one quick question?
There's been no one more important in my career than you.
You don't have to say it.
That'll be true if I become,
and we're friends for life. We're friends for life.
So when you pick up your Emmy, remember to thank him.
No.
Well, that'll never happen.
But Artie,
where I see my friends is here. You understand? Like Stuttering John was like, how come you don't get together with me? I love to go do a Tonight Show. I go, because I don't get together with anybody. This is where I see my friends. I see Robin here.
Right. I don't want to leave on bad terms. I've never...
You're not leaving.
On bad terms.
How are you leaving on bad terms? Are you leaving? Is this what you're telling us?
No, I might not be at Satellite for. What I'm saying is, I might not be at Satellite for the run.
So don't. Who cares?
But
if
that
Fred,
first day on the air,
Robin, Gary, I'm at Satellite for the run. Other people don't have to be. Satellite is my thing. I am inviting everyone to the party.
I know.
If you want to come to the party, come to the party.
And you let me come to the party for 4 years, and it's been amazing.
If you don't want to come to the party, don't come to the party.
Artie, we make the commitment ourselves. I decide how long I want to be here. I decide that I've been here this long.
I know.
Nobody's...
I know it.
What are you talking... I mean, I could leave if I wanted to.
Of course I know that. I gotta
get to the pageant.
One final question.
I decided it was important to me.
Artie, take away the money aspect of it.
Right.
And where do you think, and this isn't a jaded question, where do you think you would find more enjoyment, doing this or doing a sitcom? Or do you not know because you don't know what the sitcom is?
Well,
take the money
he's
out.
saying he'd rather have the money.
Yeah, he's saying I want to get money paid.
Sometimes you think about...
Would someone just promise me they'll never come in here and say they went on a date with Stacey Lang? Please, it's killing me. It's killing my whole plan. I got a great bit lined up.
There's nothing more fun than doing this show.
I just know it brings you personal enjoyment, and sometimes something that gets you more money doesn't always bring you the same joy.
Steve, go ahead.
It fills your soul.
Steve, you're on the air.
Robin.
Yes?
You tell him Artie that he, all his problems. You sound like a doctor. What's your problem? You're all over him. Leave the guy alone.
She hasn't said a word.
He's been talking for an hour. I haven't said anything.
Yes, she is.
No, she hasn't.
Right. You're fixated. You haven't been listening.
Marianne, go ahead.
Artie, let me compose myself. First of all, Artie, in everyday life, people have to make job decisions. And, you know, that's like a cop-out. You're saying, like, you're being held back because you have to decide. And in life, you know what, Artie? People find a job they love and people to work with that they love. And you know what? They don't go to get the Ray Romano show. They stay there because they like it. Why can't you decide? It's not that complicated.
Wade, you're on the air.
Yeah, Howard, I've been a listener for 20 years and just think you're the greatest thing ever in entertainment. But I can't listen when Artie's on. I turn the channel. And, you know, just like you say, if you don't like it, turn the channel. But I know I can't pay for Satellite knowing that he's going to be on, and I have a request.
Well, it turns out he might not be there, so you could come with him.
Let's say that he stays. I have a suggestion or request. Have 3 out of the 5 days of the week or 2 out of the 5 days of the week Artie free days, because when he's not on the show, I tune in. I'm there for the whole 4 hours. He's the biggest mama's boy going. He hates women. His imitations of blacks, Southerners, and old people are all exactly the same. I haven't heard a funny thing he said
there
yet.
you go. Maybe this is great.
Let's have Artie free days on Satellite, because I can't see paying if he's on, because I don't listen when he's on.
Sir, could you call every day?
Anthony, you're on the air.
I don't agree with that last caller. I think Artie needs to learn from his past and know that he's probably going to fail again. And if he fails again,
oh, jeez.
I remember when Artie came here, he kept talking to me about it. He was a loser, a failure. He's going to ruin this show because everything he touches gets ruined. And I felt that he's made a lot of progress. I think he feels good about himself. He's got a nice situation. I always thought this was a haven and a good job. But when it stops being that, you got to go.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, Artie's a great guy, and I love him in the show. But I think if he does this and he fails, he's just going to drink himself to death because he won't even have a job with you anymore.
I'm not leaving here some big, acting like some big shot saying I'm definitely going to go do this. Of course I know I can
maybe
fail.
you had enough of this.
Of course I know
Frank, go ahead. You're on the air. Yeah, Frank. All right, Frank's gone. We got to take a break. Look, Artie, I wish you luck with your decision. Don't bother me about it. You do what you have to do.
I don't bother you about stuff.
Don't ask me. You do what you have to do. You decide what to do. I'm not Big Daddy here. This is just a work opportunity that is provided to a few lucky people.
You're right.
That's it. Scott, you're on the air.
Hey, I got to tell you, Howard, this is the most real radio that I've ever heard. I'm calling from Portland, Oregon. It's, you know, God knows what time it is right now. It woke me up from...
You're watching Howard TV's HD Clip of the Week.
Adrian Grenier and Kevin Connolly. It's actually Grenier. Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I never knew how to pronounce that either.
Yeah, these guys are on the hit show Entourage on HBO. There's the boys.
There they are in the flesh.
Man. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, fellas. Good to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
I like the pronunciation.
Grenier is the right way to say it.
Grenier.
Is it? That's
No, it's Grenier. You don't even know.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
Your co-star doesn't even know how to say it.
It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
I thought it was Grenier.
Grenier.
Why would it be Grenier?
Because Will researched it and found out. And evidently,
so you're wrong.
Adrian, you don't even know how to say your own name.
Is it Grenier? It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
My mom calls
an
it Grenier.
affirmative.
And I can't believe it. She does it every single time. My mom says the same thing.
Yeah.
Grenier.
You know, in year 5, everyone in Mary Tyler Moore's show knew how to pronounce their own name.
When Entourage was first coming out, I remember we spoke.
We had you in with
Mark Wahlberg,
Wahlberg.
Marky Mark. And now the show's a huge hit.
It was like the first episode or something.
But did you believe it would really be a hit? Did you really think it would be this big?
Not as big as it is, no. It's pretty shocking. But yeah, at the time, it was like, I think 1 or 2 episodes had aired.
What had you done up until then? I mean, you weren't that well known, right?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I had done Unhappily Ever After. We talked about Bobcat Goldthwait.
Right, yeah, that's Kevin. Kevin has quite a sexual history. He was dating a very hot chick named Nikki Cox.
Yes.
And Bobcat Goldthwait stole her.
Swiped her out from her. Yeah. And then Jay Moore swiped her from him.
Is he now married to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a very hot chick. She is, in fact, I remember Artie met her once when he was working on the set of
I worked
the
with
Norm
her for
Show.
a year.
The Norm Show, yeah.
And she'd show up in like a 12-year-old boy's T-shirt, like one of those guinea T-shirts.
Right, the little
She would rehearse.
And she would distract the crew. They had to tell her to put some clothes on.
Did they really have to tell her to put clothes on?
No. What happened was, I worked with her for a full year, and she would rehearse. First of all, she had this enormous black guy who was her bodyguard.
Clay.
Clay.
Who was she
From
you guys?
She had to have a bodyguard at all times.
She had
a real serious problem with a stalker years ago.
Okay.
And this guy is so intimidating, but she would show up. At the time, she was 21. And she would show up to rehearsal with like a 12-year-old boy's guinea T-shirt on.
Wow.
And fuck the crew. Me and Norm said, listen, we can't act as it is.
We're trying to act here.
I mean, I can't...
She might have been the reason that show got canceled.
That probably is right.
We had to switch our names in the cast to our real name. I originally had a different name.
Kevin, how devastating is it when you lose a girl like that to Bobcat Goldthwait?
It was not my finest. It's not one of my finest moments.
How did you tell
We've made up since then.
How did it affect your working with him, though?
We did it actually another year like that with them together. Yeah. Ooh. So.
Yikes.
How did she tell you?
I read it somewhere or something.
Oh,
Even
you're
worse.
kidding.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing.
And now she's dating Jay Moore.
She's married to Jay Moore, who's a nice guy. Listen, that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I've been to hell and back since then.
But was this going on behind your back for a while? Is that what you're saying?
I always assume that it is. If you think it's not, you're just in denial.
I'll have you know I will never
Whether
do
or
that
not
to
it
you,
was,
Kev.
yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Adrian gets lots of women. We're going to get to
need your women.
We're going to get to your resume. I imagine it is not very difficult for you to get women. You're a good-looking dude. Sometimes I see Adrian at the gym. For a while, we were into this weird thing. We didn't even say hello to each other.
That was weird, right?
It was weird. Then I finally walked up to her. I said, "Why
did that go on?"
I go, "I don't know. I mean, I forgot that Adrian was on the show, and I would have immediately gone up and said, normally I don't bother anybody,
right?
But I passed him in the hall, and finally I said to him, hello.
It was an awkward hello, as I recall.
Yeah, because I was like, well, maybe I did something bad to this guy or something. I don't know.
What gym?
I think we were just trying to let each other. I mean, we were both like,
giving each other your space or something.
Yeah, but I didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother me.
I don't want to bother anybody, but it was good that we said
Besides,
hello.
you're not a woman. Why should he bother with you?
Honestly, it's true. I thought it might be refreshing.
Why should he waste his time being charming to you?
All right, let me slow this down for a second.
Maybe,
because
right?
I got a lot to talk to you guys about. And Adrian will get to your list. But as long as Kevin started with
Let's start with Kevin, since we know him better.
Kevin, recently, though, and this is an important topic to bring up with you, you happened to be at the MTV Awards.
I was at the MTV. So was
when
Adrian.
Kid Rock, Adrian was there as well, but you were an eyewitness to Kid Rock and Tommy Lee fighting. It was reported in all the newspapers that Pam Anderson was there and Kid Rock and Tommy Lee got into a fight. What did you see that night? What was your eyewitness account?
Okay, now, I mean, I don't want to incriminate. I don't want to incriminate him. Am I going to get in trouble?
Are there charges?
Are there
No,
charges?
the truth will set you free. What did you see that night? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay. I saw, Kid Rock. We were all at one table, and Adrian, you were there. You have an eyewitness account as well. Are you going to chime in?
You saw it too?
Yeah, we were both sitting there.
Yeah. Now, did the police interview you guys afterwards?
No,
they did not. Why not? Why wouldn't they interview?
I don't think there have been any charges.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I was actually mesmerized by the performance on stage.
That's the one thing why most people didn't really see what was going on, because Alicia Keys was on stage and she was killing it.
Phenomenal.
Really, I find her a little boring.
Not this night. She was not.
She was good.
Nothing boring about what she was.
And she lost weight, did she not? She just better.
Looked great. The performance, everything that she was doing was unbelievable. So all eyes were on her. Not to mention we were right there, so she's like standing on top of us.
So why are these two fighting?
First of all, listen, I don't know Tommy at all. Kid Rock, to me, was like one of the coolest dudes. I could not believe it. I was very impressed with him. He just was like
He's a very nice
normal guy, you know, and he was sitting there, and I guess Tommy Lee came over.
Right.
And sat down sat next to him, and Kid Rock sort of, you know, just
dicked him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Was it a sucker punch?
No. Not that I saw.
Well, all right, let me take you through this. You're sitting at the table, you're minding your own business. Tommy Lee walks over to Kid Rock's table and plunks his ass down in the seat next to Kid Rock.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we're all sitting in our, Kid Rock is sitting in his assigned seat.
Right.
It's not like Kid Rock was looking for anything. That was his seat. He was there for 2 hours. He was there the whole night.
Tommy Lee walks over, sits down right next to him, which is going to be tough because here they were married to the same woman. A lot of mean things were said.
Did he say anything?
It looked to me like I don't think that Tommy Lee really even realized he did it.
Oh,
he
really?
did it.
And then Kid Rock
turned. And they had this look of like...
Did Kid Rock stand up or did he remain seated?
Tommy Lee stood up first, I believe. Kid Rock said something to him like, get the fuck out of here. Get up and get out of here. Something like that.
And then Kid Rock hauled off and punched him in the face.
That's how it looked to me, yeah.
Did Tommy say anything at all?
He didn't really have much time to say much of anything.
Did Tommy go down from the punch?
It happens. One thing, the other thing is the security there was amazing.
Yes.
Security. It was like a half a second. And
now, let me ask you something
everywhere.
else. Did Kid Rock check the security before he took the punch?
And then Kid Rock, Kid Rock just got up and sort of walked out with a bunch of security guards. It was pretty... Wow. It was really one of the coolest things I've ever seen, to be totally honest with you.
To see Kid Rock punch Tommy Lee in the face was probably better than what was going on stage. While Adrian was staring at the stage, you got to see the real...
I'm a music lover.
You are.
I mean, I literally caught it out of the corner of my eye, but the funniest thing was then Puffy and all the rapper guys were like, you got to stop violence in rock and roll.
But Kevin, you do like violence. You have been involved in violence.
I was nothing to do.
Did you not punch Oil Air Brandon Davis in the face? Now, everybody can't stand him. I mean, he is an obnoxious rich kid. Why did you punch him in the face? How did that occur?
Why not?
Right.
Honestly, he's, I obviously dated Nikki for years, and they're,
that's not obvious. You dated Nikki Hilton.
Right.
Now, let me understand this. When you date one of the Hilton sisters,
yeah,
that's a very wealthy girl, right?
Correct.
Does she pay for stuff?
No, well, no. I mean,
why should she pay for stuff?
Because she has more money than Kevin.
Take her out.
I mean, Kevin's making okay money. He's working for HBO. He ain't a millionaire. We know that HBO is very cheap.
Right. They've been good with us.
Have been good. Adrian, have they been good with you?
They've been all right.
They've been all right. You're not. I don't see you doing any dancing.
I don't have anything to compare it to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now,
yeah. I mean, no. Listen. I mean, I earn enough living to where. Do I pay for dinner? Of course. Would I do that kind of stuff?
He used to have to compete financially with her a little bit. As I recall, he spent a lot of money on gifts because he had to sort of show her that
Kevin Dillon used to say, "You're setting the bar too high early, bro."
And you would hang out with Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton. That's got to be a great, fun scene for you, right?
Yeah, and the whole family. They were always very nice to me. It'd be easy to sit here.
Where it shows, though, is like on vacations.
Correct. Well, no, not only that. They took me away for they took me away for a Christmas vacation.
Money.
But that was her dad.
We could probably do a whole interview just on this aspect of your life because it's fascinating to bag one of these Hilton sisters and
hang around in the whole thing. Yeah,
they're nice. They're actually really nice girls. They hate me now.
They hate you now? Why do they hate you now?
Well, no. I mean, it's gotten better. I mean, they hated me for a while. But
why? Because you broke up?
Yeah. I mean, we just had an ugly breakup. But
why did she think you were going to marry her?
She thought a lot of things, but we're friendly now.
Why did you break up? It seems like a good situation. Attractive girl, money, the whole thing.
We were together for a long time, and some things just run their course,
Yeah. How
Run their course, huh?
When you start banging her, was this before Entourage?
Actually, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So
did you have to choose between the sisters? I mean, you go out. Do you have to say, should I go for Paris or Nikki?
No.
Who's got the tighter vagina, Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton?
Oh dear.
Come on, let's get that.
Dear.
Who's tighter? Who's better in bed?
Very good friends.
Who's better in bed? Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton? You go to a girl. You go into an island. They say to you, the only thing you can bring.
You get one Nikki. Which one do you bring?
Tough one.
You go with Cox or Hilton?
That would be a tough one.
It would.
That would be a tough one.
Well, what's your choice? I'm giving you Schindler's List now.
Honestly, the other thing, Nikki Cox, it was so long. I mean, it was literally. Like
so you would take Nikki Hilton over Nikki Cox?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I would take Nikki Hilton. There's a chance Nikki Cox might blurt out Jay Moore's acting.
You've just watched Howard TV's HD Clip of the Week.
Yeah, hey, I'm Slash, and I'm here promoting my book, Slash, and that's basically it. And I have no idea. I'm sure Howard's going to ask me about a lot of the little stories that are in the book, but I don't know which ones he would have picked up on. Probably all the lewd ones, I'm sure.
Now, is there anything that you don't want to talk about in there?
I'd like to try and keep away from talking about Axl in any great detail, because that's always sort of unnecessary. And I'm pretty much wide open for anything else, though.
Slash is here from the legendary band Guns N' Roses, and more familiar to you now is Velvet Revolver is his new band with the
he's
great,
looking quite good
with the great Scott Weiland, and I can't imagine what an effort must have gone into this for Slash to write a book.
But I'm telling you, he doesn't look like a guy who would be calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning. With a story.
I'm reading a lot of the book now, actually.
Here he is.
It's killer stories in there.
Look at him.
Look at you. That's you. All right. Guy's a great rock guitarist. Spent many a day, I am sure. When you wrote this book, Slash, did you talk about your days as a really young man where you would... I mean, a few rock stars write about what it's like to become a professional musician. I mean, yes, people concentrate on the more sensationalistic aspects of this book.
After you've gotten there,
the sex, the drugs, and all that stuff. But didn't you have to spend endless hours in your room practicing this guitar to become a virtuoso, which you are?
It's mentioned. I mean, I didn't get into it in great detail. But
see, they always, just gloss over that
it
part.
It talks about how I got into it.
I don't like where your microphone is. You do me a favor. Just shift it's in your headphone, but shift your headphones down like this.
All right, hold on.
Gary, help Slash, for Christ's sake.
Is that better? Say something.
Yeah, I think that's right. Take a look at that, Gary. Help Slash out, for Christ's sake. The man's not a professional broadcaster.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. Cool. Okay, now it's good. Now it's good.
So what I was getting at was, I mentioned how I got started and what I was into, what I was listening to at the time. And, how I used to spend 12 hours a day and how I got completely engrossed in the whole thing and whatnot.
There was a period. It does take 12 hours a day.
Right, but it's not because for me personally, it's not because, you go, okay, it's whatever time, 9 o'clock in the morning or something. I start now, and then there's a lunch break, and then I get done.
No, you were a kid who was obsessed with guitar.
Obsessed, yeah. So every waking moment I spent with the guitar.
And what was it that inspired you? I mean, what was it that made you say, I want to play the guitar?
So, it's a long story. What happened was Steve Adler, the original drummer for Guns N' Roses, he and I met when we were about 13, and we basically ditched the 7th and 8th grade together, and just we're best friends. And he had a guitar, a little cheap guitar, electric guitar, and a cheap little amplifier, and he had a little turntable, and he used to crank Kiss, as loud as it would go, and then turn the amp up. And he didn't know how to play, but he would just bang on it. And it was the excitement of that started that whole sort of, you can imagine, teenage thing where it's like, oh yeah, we got to start a band.
It's a great thing in life when you have a passion like that. Do you think that you had exceptional musical talent, or was it this unbelievable dedication to practicing?
I think basically I was raised on a lot of music because my parents were in the music business, and I loved rock and roll from the minute I could remember. And then when I actually picked up the guitar and put those realistically 3 notes together that make a rock lick, that have that rock sound to it,
right.
I had a knack for it.
Did you ever take a professional lesson from a teacher?
I tried to, yeah.
And it didn't work?
Well, what happened is I had this guy. When I started, what I was getting at with Steve was he was going to play guitar and I was going to play bass, right? So I went to a local music school that was in the neighborhood. And I went in there without an instrument, and I said, I want to learn how to play bass. And the teacher was like, well, do you have an instrument? I said, no. So he started talking to me about trying to get into my head about what I knew about music, where I was headed, what I wanted to do. And while he was talking, he was strumming the guitar, and playing some Hendrix licks.
Yeah.
I said, that's what I want to do.
And did you ever learn how to formally read music?
Not very much. I mean, I started out with the basics. When I was in the music school, he sort of taught me some rudimentary stuff that was really handy. I learned how to string a guitar, because my first guitar only had 1 string. And is it mostly by ear that you played, even with Guns N' Roses? Like you would hear something in your head, and then you would just try to figure it out on the guitar. It starts out like piano lessons, scales. You're trying to read music,
right?
And that didn't sound anything like what I wanted to do. So I noticed that he could listen to any song that I would give him, and he could pick it up and learn it by ear. And I said, I can do that. And and I quit school and I went and did it on my own.
So if you need to learn a piece of music, you just listen to it.
Yeah. And so when we're writing stuff for, say, any number of bands that I've been in, or I go and do a session with any number of artists, I just go in and do it by ear. The only person that I went in and worked with that I had to do...
Let me guess, Michael Jackson.
No, Ray Charles.
He wanted you to what? Read music?
I had to read chord charts.
You did?
Yeah.
And was that difficult?
It was. Ray Charles chord charts are not like anybody's chord charts. These are very. The reason I had to read the chord charts was to actually remember all the different chords, because there's so many and they're all jazz chords, which I hardly ever use.
So when you went into a session with Michael Jackson, let's say, he would play you a piece of music and say, hey, Slash, see what you can do with this?
Yeah, he would give me an arrangement, and then he would go, do whatever you want, and he would leave.
When you had to write a book, I mean, that sounds that sounds ridiculous that you had to write a book. That sounds
like another chore.
But I started thinking about your life. Mm-hmm. You are a guy, like a free spirit. I don't think you really sat and worried. Like, you've been married 3 times.
Twice.
Okay. But one of your wives, didn't you bang some chick like the night before your wedding?
My current wife.
Yeah. You cheated on her the night before the wedding, right?
Yeah.
And that marriage is working.
Yeah.
But don't you think it is working?
Well, she's got balls,
But don't you think, like, in a way, I mean, with all the drug use, out of control behavior, all of this stuff, I go back to your childhood. It was a wild childhood in the sense that your mom even was having this torrid love affair with David Bowie while you were just a child.
Is that right?
Yeah.
True?
Yeah. Well, torrid's a pretty heavy word.
No, I mean, you mean affair like that? She was still married to Slash's dad?
No. My mom and dad were separated at that point.
And was your dad a black guy?
No, he's white. My mom's black.
Your mom is black. Is Bowie's thing black chicks?
No, he's
dated
chicks.
A couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's married to a black chick now. I think that's his thing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, why does it have to be a thing?
Actually, a lot of white English guys like black girls. My dad too.
Yeah,
he's English.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it also on some other, occasions.
You would
I don't want to stereotype them, but yeah.
Right. Did you because people don't think of you as black. Do you think of yourself as black?
I don't think of myself as anything really, but when it comes up, I'm just a mixture of the two. And
was your mother rejected by the black community because she married a white guy?
No. I mean, maybe I was too young to really say anything about that because I wouldn't know. But as far as I could tell, there wasn't any issues.
Was there ever shame or humiliation?
I'm sure there was a little bit.
Was there ever shame or humiliation in your life that you had a black mother? Did white kids try to shame you for that?
No, but I think there was moments. I mean, I really came from a different side of the tracks, no matter which school I went to or what neighborhood I lived in when I was coming up. So I was always different, and that just added to
right
the mystique.
But wasn't it weird for you? Here you are, a young kid, and your mom is carrying on with what is a very, very famous rock star, and there were almost no rules how you grew up.
Yeah.
Didn't one of your mom's boyfriends do drugs with you, like heavy drugs, like smoke coke with you?
Yeah.
Who? Wow.
I mean, you were what, 12 when that happened?
12. Yeah, 12.
12 years old.
No wonder you had a drug problem.
Yeah. Your mom's dating a guy, and she goes to bed or whatever, and he comes into the room. And he says, let's get high?
No, my mom didn't know anything about it.
Right.
She wouldn't have allowed it.
No, understood.
No, he at some point he came to me and he's like, I know you do this stuff. Like, he was a photographer and he needed, misery loves company. He needed somebody to get high with, is what it was. And we go in the dark room and he'd get me loaded. And then we'd go out and hang out.
12 years old.
All night. Around 12 years old. And go out and pillage the neighborhood until about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I would come home, pretend like I was asleep, and then get up and go to school.
But when adults are doing that with you,
mentally,
it's got to screw your whole head up. Like there's no rules, there's no boundaries.
And no wonder you seem weird to the kids at school.
Right. Well, by the time I was 12 and 13, I'd already established sort of a tearaway kind of personality, and so. But I'm talking about when I was younger, like when I was.
But you know what's sad about this?
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Years.
If you hadn't had the musical gift, if you hadn't been, Slash from Guns N' Roses, you could have easily just ended up a junkie, no money, no life whatsoever, because these adults were not willing to parent you.
Well, all things considered, that's probably true. I probably would have ended up being an artist, though, because that was the original thing that I was.
Yeah, but you're talking about having some talent. We're saying if you had no talent.
Yeah, then I would probably, But,
I mean, you live in a $7 million home.
That's the only reason I'm, the whole professional aspect of it and the musical, the passion for music and all that is what's got me to the point where I'm still here right now,
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a major part of that.
In a sense, too, then look at the dysfunctional family you married into, in a sense, in the Guns N' Roses organization. I mean, that's why the band couldn't stay together. I mean, in a way, maybe that's why you were attracted to Axl as a partner in music, because he was screwed up.
Out of it too.
You were screwed up on drugs. I mean, who was the biggest drug addict in that band? It wasn't you.
It was pretty much. Well, no, I think it was myself and Steven. And Izzy went through a period. Axl was never a drug addict.
Oh, he wasn't. He's just sober. Difficult.
He's straight. I mean, he would get high from time to time, but he's never been an addict.
Do you ever wish that Axl would come to his senses even now and just put the original Guns N' Roses back together again, go on tour, make a ton of dough, do
Mutual.
It's more mutual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it about you and the rest of the guys that he just would never want to get together with you again?
Well, at this point, I think, with all fairness to Axl, when I actually left the group, and I think he feels sort of. I haven't approached him about getting back together anyway, but I would imagine that he feels pretty abandoned.
I see.
We were.
Why did you leave the group?
I just couldn't. There was certain things I just couldn't take anymore.
Like what though? It's so worth it. It was such a great band.
You know what?
What couldn't you take?
I couldn't take. There was a lot of it had to do with just not being able to control him, the time that the band went on stage, when we were doing anything on a professional level, and then after the Use Your Illusions tour was over, which was 2.5 years of a lot of roller coaster kind of behavior, and then also another thing was losing 2 of the original members of the band, which was Steven and Izzy. So that I realized there was a chemistry about the way that we all worked, and also in relationship to Axl. Izzy was very much a sort of the glue, the in-between guy that kept Axl and I sort of on an even keel.
Right.
Because he came to L.A. Basically, they were both from Indiana, so they had a certain kind of a relationship that really helped how the rest of the band sort of functioned.
Like the album name, Appetite for Destruction. Maybe it's just that's what it had to be. It had to destroy itself.
You have a really, really explosive band, which obviously is going to have sort of an implosive thing,
Right.
But, and then after once we got in to start working on what would have been the next record, there was a lot of contractual stuff that Axl started throwing around, and that just was the icing on the cake.
Will you ever cut your hair? In other words, a lot of guys now have cut their hair. You still maintain the long hairdo.
Same with you.
Yes, but will you cut it all off at some point? I mean, there seems to be a movement. Why have you held on to the long hair?
I seriously doubt it. I don't know. I really haven't given it that much thought. This is the most thought I put into it.
Right now it's still working.
I don't agree with you. I think you do put a lot of thought into your look. I think Guns N' Roses put a lot of thought into their look. I think Velvet Revolver puts a lot of thought into their look.
Well, if you knew me as a kid, I'm basically the same. I always had long hair, always wore jeans and tennis shoes and T-shirts.
And the jewelry?
And jewelry.
Right.
It was the only thing that's different was the top hat, which came later.
How old were you when you put a nose ring in?
I must have done that during the Snake Pit days, so that was like the mid-'90s.
So there was nothing you could do that would shock your mother. Your mother had a rock and roll lifestyle.
I remember when I came home with my first tattoo, and I was like 15, 16 years old, and she was like, well, the cliche. She goes, you're going to have to live that the rest of your life. And that was the last I ever heard of it.
That was, she didn't care.
No.
Did you ever feel your mom didn't care?
Very, very, very cool. And I was raised with a lot of
very
freedom.
cool. When your but wait a second. Yeah. When your mother was having a relationship with David Bowie, was that the coolest thing that could have ever happened? How old were you? I mean, he's way cool. I was like 9 or 10. 9 or 10.
And you would see David Bowie.
Yeah, yeah.
He would hang out in the house. You've had a charmed life that way.
She also used to work with him. She designed all his clothes, so they had a working relationship first and foremost, and then they had a romantic relationship, which really didn't last that long. It was probably like maybe a year and a half.
But were you proud of that? Were you like, wow, my mom's...
He was the first guy that came in after my dad, so I was pretty apprehensive about hanging out with him for a while.
But your mom must have been a very good-looking woman.
She's very good-looking. Yeah.
Were you ever disciplined about anything? Did you ever receive any discipline? Were you ever punished?
Yeah, no.
What would they punish you for?
You're not giving me any chance to get a word in.
Oh, I'm not. Okay,
no,
sorry.
But my parents, like I was saying, with all the freedom that I was given, I was... as far as certain morals and certain character thing, there was a lot of that was instilled in me. There was a lot of right and wrong that just sort of came natural for them to sort of instill in me, which was really great. And I think there was a sort of a mutual respect thing, almost like treating me on the same level as they were. It was very interesting. I used to call them by their first names.
I wonder if that's good or bad.
I wouldn't let my kids call me by my first.
You have kids now.
Yeah, they try. Yeah.
Do you are you a disciplinarian?
I'm not too good at that. I try. I get I try and get angry, but I think it's almost laughable. But my wife she's got a handle on that.
So you're providing structure for your kids, even if it's through your wife.
Well, and also, I've obviously learned a lot over the years, and I have a pretty clear memory of coming up, and so you just sort of you have sort of a natural instinct for things and what the kids should be doing and what you might have done wrong that you want to teach them not to do.
See, when I sit with you, you seem like such a rational guy. I can't imagine you almost throwing it all away on heroin and cocaine. I don't see it with you. I almost see you like a businessman. I mean, okay, despite the rock and roll persona and all that, I see you as a very reliable guy, a guy who shows up on time for interviews. You have a sense of the business. You respect rock and roll. You love what you do you have such a passion for this guitar. What attracted you to this heroin to the point that you were, every minute with it it took over your life?
It was downtime.
Do you think that you were depressed?
It was. I wouldn't say. Most of it was fun for the longest time, so I can't say that I was actually depressed. If there was a psychologist here and we did a one-on-one for an hour and a half, he'd probably come up with some answers that maybe I wouldn't be thinking of right now. But it was mostly fun. But the thing about the drugs was it was always when I wasn't working. And I'm so hyperactive, and I when I'm sitting here with you, or I'm sitting in the studio, or I'm out on the road, I'm actually in work mode. And that I can deal with, and as long as that's a constant, I'm fine.
But when the downtime
would end, I wouldn't know what to do with myself, and the pace of being in a band and touring constantly and living that life touring is something that still to this day I love touring more than I like being at home.
Right.
I still can't mellow out.
Right.
And I'm learning how to adjust to life not working, so that I don't go into the abyss like I normally would.
Is it hard for you to be a husband and a father when you really yearn for the road and the freedom of the road?
I just have to take them with me. I mean, I love them to death, so I make it work, but I have to admit I'm a little antsy when I'm at home for too long.
The last time you cheated on your wife was before you married her. You've been able to remain faithful?
I haven't cheated. In all honesty, I haven't cheated on her once since we got together.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, but now, are you on any kind of medication, or you...
You on Subutex?
No.
You are not.
I did do it for a minute, though.
Yeah?
How do you get off heroin? You say that in your book that you go cold turkey.
I never really got into using prescription drugs to opt out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Artie uses Subutex. He's on it regularly to keep him off his heroin.
Right.
But
a lot of guys do that. I used Subutex for the first time a little over a year ago. And that's how I got off the Oxycontin.
Oh, you were on that too, huh?
Well, that's heroin. I mean, people don't realize it, but that's heroin.
But before that, there was this stuff called Buprenex. And that never worked for me, and I don't think I did it properly.
But it's funny, in your book, you describe your first heroin experience as not even being all that great. You were in the studio 1984 with Izzy.
That was the first heroin experience where I smoked it.
I see.
But the first time I ever shot it up, that was it.
Why would you go to shooting it if smoking did nothing for you?
Because, I don't know,
Because you couldn't believe you didn't like it. You mean when you smoked it, what was the reaction?
We were when I smoked it, I felt a little bit queasy, and I don't think I knew exactly what I was doing, so I didn't get the full effect that I was supposed to get.
And then how much time passed when you said to yourself, I have an idea that if I injected this, I would be happy?
It probably was about a year.
A year?
Yeah. Maybe in those days, a short amount of time seemed like forever. So it could have been 6 months, but it seemed like a year.
You mainlined.
Yeah.
But isn't it a weird thing, Slash, to start wrapping your arm with something and cooking up drugs?
It's actually half the fun of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It really. Do you still dream of it? Do you still miss it?
No.
You don't?
You know what? Because I stopped doing it as on a regular basis in like 1991 as soon as Guns N' Roses went back out on the second record. And I stopped, and I chipped a couple times along the way over the course of however many years. I probably put like maybe 7 or 8 times, and it never was as good as when I first did it. It was always
chasing the dream,
pain in the ass, and it just after a while you just resigned to the fact that it's just not going to be like that anymore, and you sort of let it go.
All right, so you're drug free now.
I've had moments where there's been people around who have had it on it, and there's in the back of your mind there's that sort of like, a sensation of going, oh yeah, wow, but your rational thinking just takes over and goes, you don't want to go.
You never did any rehabs
I did my first real rehab stint about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That recently. Would you laugh at guys like Aerosmith when you guys would go out on tour with Aerosmith when you were in Guns N' Roses, and they would have rules where, in order to protect their sobriety, you couldn't even drink alcohol around them, or you had to hide it and drink it in a cup and this and that or the other thing. You don't place those kind of demands on other people, do you?
No. I actually like it when, within reason that people are, I like to be out with people and know that they're able to drink and stuff like that. It makes me feel more comfortable.
You don't even drink anymore? Wow.
Nothing? Right, Vay.
I know, right?
Wow.
But I play a lot better, and I've been very productive. And this particular point in my life, it's actually working.
When you go to rehab and you show up, and you're a very famous person, do you go to a rehab specifically for famous people?
Well, this particular rehab that I went to wasn't necessarily for famous people, but you had to have some cash.
You had to have some major dough. So you're in there with some big players.
There was actually nobody there when I went in.
You had your own rehab.
I was the only client, which was great.
Isn't that a little scary?
My own bedroom. I think I was really in control going in there, knowing why I was there. So I think I really went to rehab more just to get some help to get off the stuff that I was on at the time. I really
was that the OxyContin and all that?
Yeah. That just so I didn't want to go through the whole long withdrawal thing, and also just to sort of get away from everything for a minute and get my head together, because there was a lot of shit going on at that time.
Not only were drugs going on, but a lot of sex. And you describe something in your new book that is very disturbing, and I feel for you on this.
What, the Izzy thing?
The Izzy thing. You
what
say
is going on
I knew this is. Yeah.
I remember being up in the bunk one night after a show with Izzy and some girl. We were taking turns having sex with her, but Izzy wasn't wearing any protection. So when he pulled out, he came on my leg.
Oh!
Since I was right there on the other side of her, that definitely stopped me in my tracks. I sat up, I looked at him, and I said, "Hey, Izzy, man, we've got to get a bigger place."
Yeah, right.
When a man comes on your leg, what is that like?
That was a very surreal experience. But you have to understand, we were in a space that was entirely probably the size of a twin mattress. It was a loft that was the size of the mattress, and there was nowhere else to go, and we were both banging the same girl, and there was nowhere else for him to move to, and so in the heat of the moment, he wasn't really thinking about where he was aiming, and I was right there. And,
so many...
Really bonding moment.
It really is. And when Izzy came, did he come a lot? Was it a big load? Did he drop a big load?
What? It seemed like an eternity.
Was he laughing? That he goes, "Oh my God!"
He didn't know where he didn't.
He was out.
No, he didn't realize where I was in proximity to where
it was dark.
What do you do? Honestly, this is very specific. What do you do with the load once it's on?
You get the girl to lick it up.
You did? Did she really? I'm going to throw up. What do? You wipe it off with his shirt?
I used one of the blankets on the mattress.
When you're living that close with a bunch of guys and everything, the one thing I don't get is double teaming these chicks. Here, I mean, this is certainly a tremendous amount of variety on the road of women, especially when you're in a cool band.
This was in the old days. This was like before we ever hit the road, when we were just like the scourge of Hollywood local band.
Did you ever feel bad for the women? Did you ever have any sort of, this is what I'm talking about with your childhood. Like, it's almost like there were no rules. Like, some woman comes in, she's almost disposable. You take her in there, you fuck her a couple of times.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm that one guy in the band that actually sort of was sort of a sucker for girls. I mean, even the stupidest ones, I felt sort of bad for, the ones that would come in and be so easy to disrespect, you know?
Right.
And so some of the relationships that I had with women over the years, or most of the relationships I had with women over the years, when it came to sex, it was usually so there was some sort of mutual respect between the two of us. But in certain instances, like this one that we're talking about with Izzy, that was just some girl that I don't even know how she ended up there.
Did you ever share women with Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses?
A couple times.
You did?
Yeah.
I guess everybody shared.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I never got into that. Then again, nobody wanted to share with me. Who wanted to see me naked? Certainly not another guy. Does it feel a little bit gay when you see one of your bandmates naked there, you know, and
you know how
it's funny. You can sort of. You don't really get into the watching them per se.
Right.
It becomes sort of an animal thing. That you're not really paying attention to them. You're with the girl and he's with the girl and you're not really focusing on him at all. And you don't want him in any. Like I had an incident a long time ago where I used to have these parties at my house and party loving people would come over and we would have a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
And I was on the landing in my house with this girl, and I was on the floor, and she was on top of me, and Ron Jeremy happened to be there, and he came up behind her without even asking, and then sort of got behind her, and I was like, and then all of a sudden I felt invaded.
Yeah.
So there has to be some. It's not one of those kind of things. I watch some porn movies, and I go, I just couldn't handle.
There are rules, in a sense.
Yeah.
You didn't want Ron Jeremy joining in.
Yeah, there can be some awkward moments.
Awkward in the sense too, like when you have to follow Izzy, let's say, or Axl, you're the second guy in the girl. These guys have already come inside the girl. I mean, does any of that bother you? That bothers me for some reason. Why am I so uptight? I mean, what's
really,
my problem?
of all people.
Am I uptight?
It's not really being uptight. It's just certain people have certain limits to what they think is,
acceptable.
That never bothered you.
Yeah, there's certain aspects of it that bother me.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm sleazy to an extent, but there's another part of me that's got a moral center that there's certain things I won't accept.
But are there rules as to who goes first?
I have a wide.
Yeah, but like are you the king bee in a sense that like you go first and then the guys follow?
I never thought about that. I'm actually racking my brains trying to figure out how that works.
So did there come a time when let's say Izzy was banging a chick, he finishes, then you say, now I'm hopping on?
I don't think it ever really worked that way. It was usually one of those kind of things that if we were sharing a girl, it sort of all happened at the same time.
So would you prefer the mouth or the anus or the vagina?
Well, we never did the
anus.
Anus, the two,
Right.
Yeah, that's way out of control.
What's that sign that they got?
What is that called? Double, not DP,
it's not
but
double penetration.
I learned this in Canada recently. I can't remember what it's called though. Anyhow, I think he would be doing her and I would be getting it, getting oral.
Right.
We might switch around, not in any particular order.
Would it be something sort of too, if you weren't well hung?
I would prefer just having the one girl or two girls. I don't really like
two
having
girls
guys
is okay
around.
too.
I
Yeah.
could probably count on two hands how many times
You shared.
I shared. Yeah.
Because it's a weird thing. Do you ever get into gee, my penis is bigger than Izzy's? Or, I would get into that. I mean, I'm not saying it's because you do naturally compare, and any guy who says they don't is lying.
But also, don't you see him doing some weird things? Go, look at what he's doing.
Right. I guess there's awkward moments. Yeah.
Did you ever see Izzy like licking out a girl's butthole, and then you go, you know what, Izzy's gross?
Yeah, right. No, I don't remember that. But I do remember some incidents that happened with some other people in other bands where you have like a few girls come from a strip club or something like that, and they come into a hotel room and everybody's partying, and then all inhibitions go out the window, and next thing you know, there's like two girls giving one guy head for a minute, and then the other guy comes along, and then you're all standing together, and they're all doing it. And you sort of, at that point, it's a party, but then there's another element that comes in. It's like, okay, now we're all doing this together. I didn't know you that well. No. Yeah, there's some moments out there.
When you wrote the book, did you leave some of those things out, like you saw the lead singer of AC/DC do something?
I didn't put anything in there. There was one mention of my good friend James Hetfield.
Okay, from Metallica.
Right.
Yeah.
And I put it in there. I didn't want to get him into, I didn't want to.
What'd you see him do? What'd you put in?
He was in my hotel room, in the actual bedroom part, and I let him use the room with this girl that he was with. And this was a long time ago, way before he got married.
Pre-marriage, yes.
Yeah,
of course.
And I needed to go in the room to get something, so I sort of opened the door and was creeping in, and he was head fucking her against the wall. But he was doing it. He was doing it in the James Hetfield kind of like
angry.
He was going, oh yeah, this is fun.
Rock and roll.
I mentioned that because it was.
Is your penis bigger than Izzy's?
I can't remember. I think we're roughly around the same.
Roughly around the same size. Axl had a small penis, I read.
I don't know. I never actually went there.
I see. Never took a look at that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fascinating life. I mean, the sex.
Are
the
you
drugs.
talking to Axl now?
Hell
no. These guys can't stand each other.
We haven't talked since when I quit. That was
pretty much it.
An unprecedented sort of kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought that I was serious, and I think that really caused a lot of bad blood.
You deal with the financial aspects of being in Guns N' Roses too. Your signing bonus when you first get signed to a record label. This is how out of control you were, which is so opposite the guy I kind of know sitting on the couch. You blew your signing bonus.
I tried not to.
You blew it on heroin, right?
Yeah. Well,
sad, right? I bet. How much money do you think you missed out on?
It wasn't that much money. It was $7,500.
Yeah, but at the time you had nothing.
At the time, it was huge, and I couldn't put money in the bank because I had a lien on my income at the time, and so I had it all in traveler's checks, and I really tried to maintain it. But you have to understand that when Guns N' Roses got signed, that we couldn't do anything. We couldn't do any gigs or really do anything except for sit for about a year and a half, and it was pretty hard to do it. We were bored shitless.
Is there an unbelievable aspect to fame that, like, aside from your mom introducing you to David Bowie at an early age, all of a sudden you start to get in a band, you start to get some kind of name out there, and suddenly, like you say, your first son was conceived in Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones house. Mm-hmm. You're hanging out with Sly of the Family Stone, smoking PCP and crack with him. I mean, you're doing...
well, I didn't actually smoke crack with him.
But you saw him doing it.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. He seems like such a normal guy.
Yeah, when I saw him last, he looked fine.
And then all these
drugs do weird things to very normal people.
And then wild things happen to you. I mean, a woman blew him while he was asleep. I mean, that's great stuff, right?
She wasn't a woman. She was a kid.
What do you mean?
She was, she must have been like 14 or 15 years old.
And you were asleep?
I was sort of asleep. I sort of half woke up for that.
I mean, this is not a normal life. You know that. I mean, most guys...
It's all fun, though. I got to tell you.
You bet.
I have no regrets.
Oh, I bet. I was going to ask you that. Certainly you shouldn't.
Also, my parents, I came from sort of the whole free love generation.
Right.
Everybody was very uninhibited in those days. And when you talk about David and whatnot, I mean... I was raised around a lot of musicians, a lot of entertainers,
right.
And it was all like that. I mean, I remember walking into a friend of my mom's place one time. I mean, adults were always having sex when I was a kid. And it wasn't.
All of this.
It wasn't lurid, that kind of sex. It was just sort of a more loving kind of.
I'm telling you, he had a childhood with no rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought it was normal to walk into a room and see adults having sex.
Well, I mean, it would have been abnormal for them to keep me around.
Did you ever see your mom having sex?
Only once.
Who was she having sex with? With your dad?
Yeah, I walked in one time.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I never.
What position were they in? I bet it's frozen in your mind.
It was missionary.
It was.
Yeah.
And did you stand there and watch?
There was that second that lasts forever.
Yeah. You saw it going in and out.
No, it wasn't that close. I was on the other side of the room.
That's got to be traumatic. Yes, Gary, what do you want to ask?
No, I just wanted to ask Slash, because there's stuff that you read, and I heard that you don't talk to Axl anymore. And there was that weird incident a couple of years ago, and I just never understood, Guns N' Roses, the Axl Guns N' Roses, played the Hard Rock on New Year's Eve, and Slash went there just to see what was going on, but I never understood what actually happened.
What happened was my wife and I saw an ad for Guns N' Roses at the Hard Rock at the Joint in the Hard Rock, and so we made a plan to go there. It was New Year's Eve, so went down there, sort of got myself set up, made a phone call, got set up, and then went down there, and I was forbidden to enter the venue.
But did you ever say to Axl, "Hey, I want to come by and see you"?
No.
And they didn't want you in.
The whole building knew I was coming.
Why do you think you went there? Were you looking for confrontation? Were you looking to say to him?
They were saying that the rumor was I had my guitar and my top hat, and I was going to go in there. But
why go and torture yourself?
But no, I just wanted to go see Guns N' Roses because I'd never seen them before.
Yeah, but wait a second.
That was it.
You had to be angry. This isn't Guns N' Roses.
But this was years after. You have to understand, when I quit, whatever he went on to do after that was fine.
Right.
And I knew he was going to continue on with the name because that was one of the things that was leading up to the split anyway, when it first came up. And so I was really intrigued. I wanted to go see what Guns N' Roses was.
What do you think of like Van Halen right now, where they get rid of Michael Anthony, the original bass player and backup vocal guy, they put in Eddie's son? Eddie Van Halen's son is in there now. Like, does that kind of burn you up a little bit? Because that's what Axl tried to pull with Guns N' Roses. He tried to replace the whole band. Right. Do the fans deserve to see... They don't want to see Van Halen or Guns N' Roses with other players.
Well, I think it needs to be made very clear to the public that the original members will not be there, which... Somehow with the Guns situation, I don't think that happened.
I think that's why you went to the show that night. You wanted to sort of say to Axl, "Go ahead, you do this in front of me, asshole."
It wasn't like that.
I will tell you how
it was. It was really pretty innocent. Just wanted to go see. I mean, think about it. How interesting would that be?
Yeah, but you couldn't have been surprised by their reaction.
I would be angry.
I was. There's a point there. It's like, oh, come on, get off it. What am I going to do?
Yes, Gary.
It was weird because there was one time I went to see Guns N' Roses, and of course you're looking for the guitar player to be Slash. And it could have just been sort of, nondescript. And instead it was that weird guy, Buckethead. Do you remember?
That was on the MTV show.
It was a guy with a bucket over his head, and it was almost like calling too much attention.
I was him for Halloween a couple of years ago.
Were you a Buckethead?
Yeah, but let me just put one thing in.
Do you think Buckethead is a talented individual?
I don't really know his work. I really don't know his work.
Okay.
I've heard he's a really accomplished guitar player.
Okay.
Very technically, fluent.
You say that as a put down in a way, that a guitar player
he's not a rock guy,
A rock guy has a certain soul to his guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's not just all about technical.
I have heard a couple of pieces of music from Buckethead, and it's technically proficient, but doesn't have any heart.
So, in other words, you kind of say, hey, there's two types of musicians. There's the guy who can go in and read charts and get that all done, and then there's you. You can walk into a studio and make something magical happen.
Something like that. It's like if somebody picks up the guitar and has the balls to really come from the heart and expose himself, emotionally on the instrument, you can tell, you can feel it.
Getting back to the sex for 1 minute.
Wait, let me straighten out one thing
about
the Axl thing.
Yeah.
Just with all due respect to Axl, he didn't know that I was banned from the venue. It was a manager thing, which actually happened to be our old manager, who I hated with a passion anyway. And
so
he thought Axl might not react, positively if he knew I was there, so he decided to take it upon himself.
But did Axl ever reach out to you afterwards to say, "Hey, I heard you were there. Sorry you couldn't get in. Would have loved to have seen you"?
No, that's not his style.
No, he doesn't do
reaching
that.
out.
No.
Now,
okay, sorry.
Getting back to the sexual thing, it is amazing because I'm sure you guys weren't wearing contraception and stuff. The only STD you say in your book that you got was you got genital warts on your stomach.
No. I got genital warts on my penis, but what happened was I had these marks on my stomach, which they were sort of like psoriasis kind of thing, but being hypochondriac, I guess. It was right around the time that the AIDS thing was first really starting.
Right.
And it just seemed like real small versions of what the AIDS
lesions
look
like.
And of course, it would not surprise me because practicing safe sex at the time wasn't really a habit. I don't think the only time you ever practiced safe sex was not to get a girl pregnant, and that was. But even then, that was hard to do.
But it is amazing. You didn't come down with a lot of stuff.
That was the only thing. That and crabs. That was the only.
The crabs you got. You didn't get the herpes. You didn't get any of that stuff. You really got.
I never
lucky.
I never even got hepatitis C, which a lot of guys.
A miracle. Did you share needles when you were shooting?
There was times.
Yes, and
see, he skirted all of them.
I've been really lucky.
Yeah.
But here you are, a hypochondriac.
Not really. I'm just yes. You know,
but you probably are.
A little bit.
Yeah, and then you would share a needle with someone, which to me would be totally dangerous.
It's in the whole fervor of
getting the drugs.
Yeah, it is a real psychological thing to that.
You know, they say that about Keith Richards too, that he's lucky and he's got this constitution, you know, of an ox.
A horse,
right. Yeah, you have to be reasonably intelligent to sort of get away with a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, you know, I've been really, really lucky.
Yeah, it is. It's a roll of the dice. Another upsetting thing happened to you. You once passed out. You know, you were unconscious, and you were teabagged by Tommy Lee, the drummer of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Now, what's that all about?
Don't trust your friends.
Yeah, I mean, you passed out from drinking.
Yeah.
You're laying there on the floor unconscious. And Tommy Lee gets naked and puts his balls
over my face. They weren't touching, but
who knows?
Well, I saw the picture.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, there was it's actually in Nikki's book. I think it's a little bit more graphic in Nikki's book, of course.
Describe, if you would, the smell of Tommy's balls.
I was out cold.
I see. So you never smelled his balls.
No.
Right. Do you say to a guy afterwards, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm going to kick the shit out of you"?
You know, no. I deserved it because I put myself in that position by passing out on the floor of the bar and them having to take me up to the room and put me to sleep.
But you do expect your bros to
well,
be...
you know, I had a couple things to say, obviously, but, you know, under the circumstances, I deserved it.
You seem like a good-natured person.
I am. I'm pretty easygoing.
What about fights? Do you ever have any fist fights?
I used to.
I haven't
in a while.
Did you ever have any with Axl?
No.
You never had a fight?
I think there was one time in our relationship where I thought that was going to happen, but I think we both thought better of it.
Probably the relationship between you and Axl could never be repaired, because even in your book you say some nasty things about him in the sense that you saw him flip out on girls who wouldn't have sex with him.
There was a one incident that I didn't put that in there because I wanted to talk about him. It just had a lot to do with why I left. We were in rehearsal at the time, and we were staying in Chicago, and why I left Chicago, which is a whole story.
What did you see that night?
Nothing I'm going to get into here.
What do you mean? He yelled at a girl or he hit her?
I just reacted inappropriately.
In other words, hey, you have to give me
sex with him.
Yeah. But there was, you know, I really don't want to get into all that because it wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't that big a deal. I think the reasoning behind it and so on and so forth, I thought was sort of unsavory. So I just got sort of disgusted with the whole thing that was going on at that period. So I don't want to single that one incident out.
Why did you have sex with an old girlfriend the night before your wedding? What happened there? Were you scared to get married? Was that it? And you just said, hey, shit, I got to get out of this thing?
The first marriage I got into was an ultimatum.
Right.
And I don't think I went in the right. I didn't go into it from the heart. And so I'd sort of dated this girl that is now my wife.
Right.
You know, not really dated, but we saw each other on occasion, and we always had a good time. And she knew that. She knew that we had sort of a connection.
Is this the wife when you were doing my movie you were hanging out with?
That's the one that I was married to then.
Right.
Yeah.
You divorced her.
One.
Yeah, I divorced.
She was hot.
She was, you know, she was a good-looking girl, but it was an ultimatum. I'd been caught. She finally caught me. Someone ratted me out for everything that I'd done behind her back. I mean, literally everything.
Aren't friends great?
Somebody had it in for me.
Why would they do that to you?
And so we split up for a while, and of course I was out on tour, and I started feeling lonely. And just because of all these things I did to her didn't mean that I didn't care about her. It was just I really wasn't ready for that serious of a relationship at that point, I think.
Are there any? But there, again, there's no rules, you know. So like you would just say, hey, screw it.
I was like a sex addict at that point.
You were.
You know, I was out of control.
When you went to rehab,
I used to keep 3 and 4 hotel rooms in every hotel, so I could go bouncing around.
So that's part of your thing. You can't sit still. So so keep yourself busy with women, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like drugs.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
You know, you can't knock it, though.
A lot of famous women?
No, not necessarily. I mean, some more famous than others, but
look at you. How many women you figured you banging in your time?
Come on, I don't.
Give me a number.
I don't have a number.
You up over 500?
I have no.
Look at you.
You didn't keep any records?
Of course not.
Are you kidding? There are written records. It's more thorough than a German concentration camp.
Anyway, so what happened was Perla heard that I was getting married. Actually, she came to my bachelor party, which was a co-ed bachelor party because what I was saying was I called my girlfriend up. I called my girlfriend up, who was going to be my wife, and I said, let's get back together. And she said, not unless we get married. And I was like, oh.
So you had to do it.
And so then we did it, and Perla, who'd known me from previous, came around and said, "Ha ha," you know, and then somehow we ended up doing it the night before my wedding.
Beautiful.
The wedding was doomed from that point on. The marriage was doomed, you know. But I feel really bad because I actually put her through something. I'm not into hurting people's feelings for, you know, being inconsiderate.
How are your children going to rebel against you? It's going to be tough.
I don't know. I'm sure they'll find.
They'll be
all kids find something.
Yeah, they seem like good kids, or what?
They're great kids. Yeah, they're out of control too. Though we have to work really hard to keep them in check.
Right, because you're used to having a life.
My
with no
wife
rules.
and I, when we first, our whole relationship, up until when we had kids, we were probably the craziest couple you'll ever meet.
Oh, I believe that.
And so when the kids came, it sort of, I guess it was payback. It's like, okay, we got 2 boys. It's like,
who are the great bands today? Anybody turning you on musically, or are you just fed up with the whole scene?
You know, I don't have a lot of positive things to say about what's going on with rock and roll right now.
Right.
I mean, it's about as far removed from the genuine article as far as I'm concerned. There's some bands that are still around that came out in the 90s, which I might have not thought that much of then, but I think huge, you know, I think they're great now because they're the only bands around that have any inkling of what that kind of rock and roll attitude.
What's an example of one of those bands?
Well, Foo Fighters are great.
Yeah. Foo Fighters are great.
One of the greatest bands that's come out in the last 15 years.
Did it surprise you when the drummer from the Foo Fighters turned out to be a lead singer and guitar player?
Yeah,
I mean, what did I say?
Drummer from Nirvana.
From Nirvana.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw the Foo Fighters was here at what's the place by Dave Letterman. Right across
Roseland.
I saw him at Roseland, and it was great. And that was in like not too long after Kurt died.
It was shocking to you, probably.
But he is a great band, and he's a great songwriter. Yeah.
So, when you had to write a book, I don't even know what inspired you to write a book. When you say you wrote the book, you worked with a writer, and he even claims at 4 in the morning when you would remember a story, you would call him. You don't know any work hours, and
well, no, I had to call him when they came because trying to recall all that stuff wasn't the easiest thing to do.
Oh, I think it's the most difficult thing in the world. Well, you've done it. I mean, you've written a very, very interesting book. This is great. Slash's new book, Slashed. That's the name of the book.
It's just Slash.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said slashed.
Yeah, you did say that.
I thought,
Sloshed.
Slash's new book. Slosh would have been a good title.
That's a good one. You should have talked to me. The book Slash is in stores now, and you can check out Slash in Guitar Hero 3 in stores now as well.
Best game ever, by the way.
Isn't it cool?
Guitar Hero Howard is the best fucking game.
It's one of those things I got involved with that I don't consider a sellout because it was so cool. Yeah.
Better than chess?
No, chess is great, but that's a different animal.
I see.
I keep chess on my BlackBerry.
You play chess?
Yeah.
You're not on the ICC,
What's the ICC?
Chessclub.com,
no.
Internet Chess Club?
No.
Oh.
Because Howard could play with you.
I will play with you.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That's when I remember starting playing chess when I was pretty young, and I've always had a thing for chess.
I don't want to brag, but I'm a 1600.
No, I believe you're probably pretty good. You seem like you would be.
Yeah, I'm no retard.
I'm into poker now. That's my new thing.
That's your thing?
That seems like everybody's into poker. So
But are you going to get carried away with that and blow a lot of money?
No. I mean, at this point, I love watching it on TV, and I love playing it on my telephone.
Right.
And it's.
Are you playing big stakes poker?
I'm not a gambler. You're not going to get me to take $1,000 or $10,000 and put it on the table.
How much do you play for?
I don't play for anything. I'm playing on a machine.
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't go to the casino.
I have some friends that I can play with, but that's small stakes.
All right, get the book Slash in stores now. What do you want to say, Garibaldi?
I got a question and then a story. One of our friends has a good story about Slash. But in the book, do you talk about how you wrote the songs? Because I read how you came up with the guitar riff for Sweet Child of Mine. I was wondering if it was true.
I got into a lot of the songs on Appetite because it's such an infamous record, and so I did talk about Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle and Night Train and Paradise City and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because Sweet Child of Mine supposedly was that was what he would do to warm up that riff.
Right, in practicing, I try and make up something interesting just to keep myself engaged instead of just mindless practicing. And I stumbled on this cool pattern that had a nice melody to it and started coming up with these different notes within the pattern. And then a couple of the other guys started playing some chords behind it.
And then would Axl come in and then start singing to it?
Axl, unbeknownst to us, was upstairs writing lyrics to it, and we didn't know.
Wow.
And so the next day at rehearsal, he goes, "Let's do that thing you guys were working on," and it became this big song.
That's great. When it's that easy, it's a shame it can't last forever, You just wish you could stay in that zone.
But that was just him warming up.
It's also one of those songs.
The song still gives me chills.
It's one of those songs that's very indicative of an entire band working together. It would never have happened without the other guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. It's a collaborative thing that happens. Yeah. But you were this is your warm-up exercise.
It's not a warm-up exercise. He said that.
Well, that's what I read. What was it?
It was just something that I made up that I was just thought was interesting.
Practice,
but I never would have probably made a song out of it. It was very private. They just happened to pick up on it. You know?
And Axl walks downstairs and says, hey, listen to these lyrics I'm working on.
He didn't say anything. It was the next day. If I remember correctly, he goes, hey, play that thing you guys were jamming in the living room yesterday. And so we started playing it, and he started singing something. So he was up there listening and writing.
Wow.
You know? Oh,
that's just great. That's a cool story. Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you our story. So Shuley, our very own Shuley, used to live in Las Vegas, and he said he worked at one of those photo places, and he said he once developed a nude roll of film of Slash. He's out there if you want to talk to him about it.
You got to be kidding me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that on camera?
You
don't care. You probably high as a kite.
I don't believe this, but
what was it, Shuley? You worked in a camera place.
Well, it was like a souvenir/liquor store that sold everything. If it wasn't nailed down, we'd sell it, and we developed film there too. And he came in and was trash. And at the time, I didn't even recognize Slash because he didn't have a hat on. His hair was flat and everything. And they dropped off a roll of film. It was you, and I don't know which one.
Was it in L.A.?
No, it was in Vegas. It was on Fremont Street.
No, okay. There's actually some pictures in the book of she and I, but they weren't full on sex.
No.
There's some nudity, but there's no real penetration.
There's a picture in the book. She's got her face where the sun don't shine.
When I developed the film, that's when I realized it was Slash because there was a picture of him in the shower, and I saw this tattoo on his arm of himself. It says Slash with the hat.
It's a tattoo. It was actually of a girl, but it has my name.
Oh, it does. Okay, well,
character.
And he was nude, and he's just standing there in the shower.
How was he hung? Was he have a big penis?
Yeah, it was huge. I made double prints. I put it in the book we had for naked photos. We had a book underneath for nude pictures. You're very gracious.
That was very nice of you. Well, Slash, it's a pleasure.
Yes, Artie.
Can I ask him a couple of questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
What? How you doing, man? Artie. You guys were like a great sort of band in the tradition of classic, rock and roll. When you saw bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, that whole grunge thing coming on, did you feel like you guys were in trouble in any way?
No. I was really excited. Being that in the 80s we were one of the few sort of hands down gritty rock and roll bands. There was so much other glam and sort of fake anthem stadium rock or whatever you want to call it going on. When grunge happened, which I still have a hard time calling it that, but in the 90s, in the early 90s, when Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, what's the other band?
Pearl
Jam.
Yeah.
And bands like that, those were the main ones. I thought it was great because it was like some new blood, and I was really addicted to a couple of these records.
So it wasn't a turn off to you? You liked it?
What would you rather call it? Just rock and roll, like anything else,
It was
right?
basically just an extension of what we were doing.
Right.
I agree. I agree.
And just one real last thing. I've struggled with drugs as documented on this show, and I'm curious. What created more chaos in your life? Because I have a definite answer to this.
Yeah.
Coke or heroin? What do you think created more chaos? What made you more out of control? Cocaine or heroin?
Coke definitely made me more out of control. But we keep mentioning Coke, but I only speedballed Coke, so I always had it with heroin.
Oh, really?
I did a couple lines here and there. Like I used to hang out with Sam Kinison back in the day, and he used to blow my mind. He'd do a line the size of this table in one hit.
Yeah,
really some serious business.
Yeah.
Coke's not really my drug of choice. It's too up.
So you always had heroin?
I'm a heroin guy.
Wow.
But some of my weirdest stories in the book are about when I'd run out of dope and it just end up with the Coke left to shoot, and then the hallucinations that go along with that.
Right.
You said at one point you put your fist through a piece of glass shower.
There was something that happened, an incident in Phoenix, where I probably would have gone to jail for a good amount of time.
Oh, really?
And luckily, there was a promoter there. My manager called. That was probably one of the few.
What happened?
One of the few good things they ever did for me. They got me on a plane and sent me back to L.A. like that.
What did you do though?
I tripped out in this resort.
Coke. Yeah. You started to hallucinate.
Yeah, completely. And I was running around this resort, running from something I thought was chasing me.
You were naked, weren't you?
Yeah, I was naked, and I ran into this maid who pressed charges.
Oh my goodness!
For
what?
For what do you call it?
Indecent exposure.
No. When you punch somebody, what do you call it?
Assault. Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Punched the maid.
And then
you were naked and you punched the maid.
I just ran over her.
You thought she was a mom. monster.
I knocked her down. No, she was in my way, and
and you were running from what? What did you see?
I was running from these little imaginary demons that had these little guns that were chasing me, and I trashed my hotel room trying to get away from them, and then went through the front door.
It doesn't sound like fun.
No, it was. You
could have lost your mind.
Yeah, in the book you described them. What do you say that you described?
I said they looked like the little predator guys.
Yeah,
that's the closest. That was the best thing I could come
I mean,
up
you
with.
were real hardcore with this. In fact, in the book, Slash goes into the fact that he got a virus from drinking too much, and they had to replace something in your heart, didn't they?
They put a defibrillator in my heart.
Right.
Wow.
And they told me that
this is hardcore.
That I wasn't going to live. They said you have 6 days to 6 weeks, and I refused to. I remember that was serious, and I didn't have a problem quitting drinking to sort of go along with doctor's orders. But I was really concerned with getting all because I had to cancel the tour, and so I wanted to make up those dates.
Right.
And that's what got me through it. And I was back on the road within months.
Because when you're on coke or heroin, at least me, you can drink endlessly. And when I would go on a coke binge, I was more into coke in my 20s because it forced you to be social. Cocaine, you were out, and that's why it created more chaos. But heroin, you want to withdraw and be by yourself.
I'm an introvert by nature, so doing coke and socializing, it's like it's okay. It makes it more like I go out now and I realize why I did so many drugs because I just can't
stand being
it's
around
like
people.
Boring,
right?
Hang out at a bar, everybody's talking, and you're like, "This is why I used to drink."
Well, anyway, hey, by the way, you were at Anna Nicole Smith's funeral.
Yeah.
How did that? Were you close with her?
I wouldn't say close. She was more of an acquaintance to me, but she was close to my wife.
Oh.
And we didn't know each other all that well, but. What's the guy's name?
Howard K. Stern.
Howard invited us, and Perla thought we should go, so we took off and went down there. And that was a real scene. And Nicole's mom was a real piece of work.
Really?
Yeah. She showed up at the funeral. I guess it was about an hour to 2 hours late because she was at the courthouse still trying to win that.
Yeah. The custody deal.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, man. You've done it all, and you've put it in.
And
you've put it in a book
everywhere. Yes.
And. And I got to tell you something. It's a great book. Good for you, man. Slash's new book, Slash, in stores now. Check out Slash and Guitar Hero 3, by the way.
And we have Velvet Revolver's got a new record out.
Yeah, Velvet Revolver, and that thing's going well.
So we're touring. I'm just on a quick break. We're going to Japan and Australia.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I can't believe you got Scott Weiland under control.
He's the angel in the band.
No kidding.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I wouldn't call him an angel, but he's doing really well.
Well, it's great. It's always great to see you. I love when you come in here. I love to sit and talk to you about your life. Yeah. It's fascinating.
All you guys, and I heard you were sick, so you might not be here. So I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm not sick. Don't believe
She's sick.
She's the healthiest one in the room, Slash.
All right. That's right. Thanks, Slash.
Right,
Good luck with the book.
You.
All right, Slash, how do you think it went in there today?
It was good. That was one of the more comfortable times I've had doing Howard Show. I always have a good time doing Howard Show, but I also get nervous.
Why were you nervous?
I don't really like talking all that much. Like doing face-to-face interviews because I'm sort of quiet. And I get thrown to the wolves sometimes. Howard's like that. The first time I ever did an interview with Howard was over the phone, and I didn't know who he was. This was years ago, and I called him from Hawaii at like 2 a.m, drunk off my ass, and didn't know who I was dealing with, and he just sort of wiped the floor with me. But luckily he was. I think that what broke the ice though was that he was cool enough to let me redo the show the next day. And so ever since then we've had sort of a relationship, so I have a lot of respect for the guy.
And was it weird talking about like your sex life and your childhood with drugs and everything?
I was sort of expecting it, but you never know exactly how it's going to go. There was a couple of uncomfortable moments in there, especially the group sex stuff. Because I hadn't really thought about that. I didn't have any good answers for it. But it's all good,
So we got Adrian Grenier and Kevin Conley from Entourage coming in.
Adrian who?
I love those guys. Adrian Grenier.
Isn't it Grenier? I'm just saying is all.
Leave me alone.
You like this guy. You think he's hot.
Okay. How you doing? Good.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
Morning.
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 Just got off the red eye.
Oh, man.
Sleepy.
Throwing you right into the...
Right into the line.
Yeah. So you guys still psyched, though, even though it's so early?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his coffee, though. Right this way. Right this way, guys.
Oh, look, the fruit plate. The fruit plate in there. They got the fruit plate.
So you guys know if there's a fruit plate, you've made it.
Yeah. This is it. We thought that if we weren't Tom Cruise, we weren't going to get one.
No, you guys have made the list.
We did. Nice. That's a great...
That is a very sexy fruit plate.
So what's going on? You guys have a coffee table book coming out?
We do. Is it a coffee table? It's a coffee table, yeah. It's good. Have you looked at it?
I have. It's actually a really great book. And it's not just because I'm in it, but that does help.
Right.
No. It's actually pretty well done.
It is.
That's why we're
It's
here.
very fanciful.
All right, guys. Have fun with Howard today.
We will. We're very excited.
From Entourage, Adrian Grenier and Kevin Connolly. It's actually Grenier. Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I never knew how to pronounce that either.
Yeah, these guys are on the hit show Entourage on HBO. There's the boys.
There they are in the flesh.
Man. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, fellas. Good to have you on here.
Glad to be here. I like the Grenier pronunciation.
Grenier. Grenier is the right way to say it.
Grenier.
Is it? That's
No, it's Grenier. You don't even know.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
Your co-star doesn't even know how to say it.
It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
I thought it was Grenier.
Grenier.
Why would it be Grenier?
Because Will researched it and found out. And evidently,
so you're wrong.
Adrian, you don't even know how to say your own name.
Is it Grenier? It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
My mom calls it Grenier.
Affirmative.
I can't believe it. She does it every single time. My mom says the same thing.
Yeah.
Grenier.
You know,
Boys,
in year 5, everyone in Mary Tyler Moore's show knew how to pronounce their own name.
When Entourage was first coming out, I remember we spoke.
We had you in with
Mark Wahlberg,
Mark
With Marky
yeah.
Mark. And now the show's a huge hit.
It was like the first episode or something.
But did you believe it would really be a hit? Did you really think it would be this big?
Not as big as it is, no. It's pretty shocking. But yeah, at the time, it was like, I think 1 or 2 episodes had aired.
What had you done up until then? I mean, you weren't that well known, right?
I wasn't. I mean, I had done Unhappily Ever After. We talked about Bobcat Goldthwait.
Right, yeah, that's Kevin. Kevin has quite a sexual history. He was dating a very hot chick named Nikki Cox.
Yes.
And Bobcat Goldthwait stole her.
Swiped her out from her. Yeah. And then Jay Moore swiped her from him.
Is he now married to
married,
her? Yeah. She's a very hot chick. She is, in fact, I remember Artie met her once when he was working on the set of
I worked
the
with
Norm
her for
show.
a year.
The Norm show, yeah.
And she'd show up in like a 12-year-old boy's T-shirt, like one of those guinea T-shirts.
Right, the little
She would rehearse.
And she would distract the crew. They had to tell her to put some clothes on.
Fuck the
Did they
crew.
really have to tell her to put clothes on?
No, well, no. What happened was she, I worked with her for a full year, and she would rehearse. First of all, she had this enormous black guy who was her bodyguard.
Clay.
Clay. Yeah,
Who is she I mean, from
Well,
you
she
guys?
She had to have a bodyguard at all times.
She had stalkers.
She had a real, serious problem with a stalker years ago.
Okay.
And this guy is so intimidating, but she would show up. At the time, she was 21. And she would show up to rehearsal with like a 12-year-old boy's guinea T-shirt on.
Wow.
And fuck the crew. Me and Norm said, listen, we can't act as it is.
We're trying to act here.
I mean, I can't...
She might have been the reason that show got canceled.
That probably is right.
We had to switch our names in the cast to our real name. I originally had a different name.
Kevin, how devastating is it when you lose a girl like that to Bobcat Goldthwait?
It was not my finest. It's not one of my finest moments.
How did you tell him?
How did you affect your working with him, though?
We did it actually another year like that with them together. Yeah. Ooh. So.
Yikes.
How did she tell you?
I read it somewhere or something.
Oh,
Even
you're
worse.
kidding.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing.
And now she's dating Jay Moore.
She's married to Jay Moore, who's a nice guy. Listen, that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I've been to hell and back since then.
But was this going on behind your back for a while? Is that what you're saying?
Always assume that it is. If you think it's not, you're just in denial.
Well, I'll have you know, I will never
Whether
do
or
that
not
to
it
you,
was,
Kev.
yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Adrian gets lots of women. We're going to get
I don't need your women.
We're going to get to your resume. I imagine it is not very difficult for you to get women. You're a good-looking dude. Sometimes I see Adrian at the gym. For a while, we were into this weird thing. We didn't even say hello to each other.
That was weird, right?
It was weird. Then I finally walked up to him. I said, "Why
did that go on?"
I go, "I don't know. I mean, I forgot that Adrian was on the show, and I would have immediately gone up and said, normally I don't bother anybody,
Right?
But I passed him in the hall, and finally I said to him, "Hello."
It was an awkward hello, as I recall.
Yeah, because I was like, well, maybe I did something bad to this guy or something. I don't know.
What gym?
I think we were just trying to let each other. I mean, we were both like, you know,
giving each other your space or something.
Yeah, but I didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother me.
I don't want to bother anybody, but it was good that we said
Besides, you're not a woman. Why should he bother with you?
Honestly, it's true. I thought it might be refreshing.
Why should he waste his time being charming to you?
All right, let me slow this down for a second.
Maybe, right?
I got a lot to talk to you guys about. And Adrian will get to your list. But as long as Kevin started with
Let's start with Kevin, since we know him better.
Kevin, recently, though, and this is an important topic to bring up with you, you happened to be at the MTV Awards.
I was at the MTV. So
when
was Adrian.
Kid Rock, Adrian was there as well, but you were an eyewitness to Kid Rock and Tommy Lee fighting.
I was.
It was reported in all the newspapers that Pam Anderson was there and Kid Rock and Tommy Lee got into a fight. What did you see that night? What was your eyewitness account?
Okay, now, I mean, I don't want to incriminate. I don't want to incriminate anybody. Am I going to get in trouble?
Are there charges?
Are there
No,
charges?
the truth will set you free. What did you see that night? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay. I saw, Kid Rock. We were all at one table. And, Adrian, you were there. You have an eyewitness account as well. Are you going to chime in?
You saw it too?
Yeah, we were both sitting there.
Yeah. Now, did the police interview you guys afterwards?
No.
They did not. Why not? Why wouldn't they interview you?
I don't think there have been any charges.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I was actually mesmerized by the performance on stage.
That's the one thing why most people didn't really see what was going on, because Alicia Keys was on stage and she was killing it.
Phenomenal.
Really, I find her a little boring.
Not this night. She was not.
She was good.
Nothing boring about what she was.
And she lost weight, did she not? She
just looked great. The performance, everything that she was doing was unbelievable. So all eyes were on her. Not to mention, we were right there, so she's like standing on top of us.
So why are these two fighting?
First of all, listen, I don't know Tommy at all. Kid Rock, to me, was like one of the coolest dudes. I could not believe it. I was very impressed with him. He just was like
He's a very nice
normal guy, you know, and he was sitting there, and I guess Tommy Lee came over.
Right.
And sat down sat next to him, and Kid Rock sort of, you know, just
dicked him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say
Was it a sucker punch?
No. Not that I saw.
Well, all right, let me take you through this. You're sitting at the table, you're minding your own business. Tommy Lee walks over to Kid Rock's table and plunks his ass down in the seat next to Kid Rock.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we're all sitting in our, Kid Rock is sitting in his assigned seat.
Right.
It's not like Kid Rock was looking for anything. That was his seat. He was there for 2 hours. He was there the whole night.
Tommy Lee walks over, sits down right next to him, which is going to be tough because here they were married to the same woman. A lot of mean things were said.
Did he say anything?
It looked to me like I don't think that Tommy Lee really even realized he did it. He did it.
And then Kid Rock
turned. And they had this look of like...
Did Kid Rock stand up or did he remain seated?
Tommy Lee stood up first, I believe. Kid Rock said something to him like, get the fuck out of here. Get up and get out of here. Something like that.
And then Kid Rock hauled off and punched him in the face.
That's how it looked to me, yeah.
Did Tommy say anything at all?
He didn't really have much time to say much of anything.
Did Tommy go down from the punch?
It happens. One thing, the other thing is the security there was amazing.
Yes.
Security. It was like a half a second.
Now,
and
let me ask you something
everywhere.
else. Did Kid Rock check the security before he took the punch?
And then Kid Rock, Kid Rock just got up and sort of walked out with a bunch of security guards. It was pretty.
Wow.
It was really one of the coolest things I've ever seen, to be totally honest with you.
To see Kid Rock punch Tommy Lee in the face was probably better than what was going on stage. While Adrian was staring at the stage, you got to see the real.
I'm a music lover.
You are.
I mean, I literally caught it out of the corner of my eye. But the funniest thing was then Puffy and all the rapper guys were like, you know, you got to stop violence and rock and roll.
But Kevin, you do like violence. You have been involved.
You
in
participated.
I'm not. I was nothing.
Did you not punch Oil Air Brandon Davis in the face? Now everybody can't stand him. I mean, he is an obnoxious rich kid. Why did you punch him in the face? How did that occur?
Why not?
Right.
Honestly, he's I obviously dated Nikki for years, and they're
that's not obvious. You dated Nikki Hilton.
Right.
Now let me understand this. When you date one of the Hilton sisters.
Yeah.
That's a very wealthy girl, right?
Correct.
Does she pay for stuff?
No, well, no. I mean,
why should she pay for stuff?
Because she has more money than Kevin.
Take her out.
I mean, Kevin's making okay money. He's working for HBO. He ain't a millionaire. We know that HBO is very cheap.
Right. They've been good with us.
Adrian, have they been good with you?
They've been all right.
They've been all right. I don't see you doing any dancing.
I don't have anything to compare it to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, no, listen, I mean, I earn enough living to where, do I pay for dinner? Of course. You know, would I do that kind of stuff?
He
But
used to have to compete financially with her a little bit. As I recall, he spent a lot of money on gifts because he had to sort of show her that
Kevin Dillon used to say, "You're setting the bar too high early, bro."
And you would hang out with Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton. That's got to be a great, fun scene for you, right?
Yeah, and you know, the whole family. They were always very nice to me. It'd be easy to sit here.
Where it shows, though, is like on vacations.
Correct. Well, no, not only that. They took me away for they took me away for Christmas vacation.
Money.
But her, that was her dad.
We could probably
Rick,
do a whole interview just on this aspect of your life because it's fascinating to bag one of these Hilton sisters and
hang around in the whole thing. Yeah,
they're nice. They're actually really nice girls. They hate me now.
Did they hate you now? Why do they hate you now?
Well, no, I mean it's gotten better. I mean they hated me for a while. But
why? Because you broke up?
Yeah, I mean we just had an ugly breakup. But
why did she think you were going to marry her?
She thought a lot of things, but we're friendly now.
Why did you break up? It seems like a good situation. Attractive girl, I mean money, the whole thing.
You know, we were together for a long time, and some things just run their course, you know?
Yeah. Now what happened?
Run their course, huh?
When you start banging her, was this before Entourage?
Actually, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So
did you have to choose between the sisters? I mean, you go out. Do you have to say, should I go for Paris or Nikki?
No.
Who's got the tighter vagina, Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton?
Oh dear.
Come on, let's get that.
Dear.
Who's tighter? Who's better in bed?
Very good friends.
Who's better in bed? Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton? You go to a girl. You go into an island. They say to you, the only thing you can bring.
You get one Nikki. Which
one
would you
bring? Tough one.
You go with Cox or Hilton?
That would be a tough one.
It would.
That would be a tough one.
Well, what's your choice? I'm giving you Schindler's List now.
Honestly, the other thing, Nikki Cox, it was so long. I mean, it was literally. Like
so you would take Nikki
ago.
Hilton over Nikki Cox?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I would take Nikki Hilton. There's a chance Nikki Cox might blurt out Jay Moore's act.
You mean if she blurts out Jay Moore's act, you would throw up?
Yeah.
All right. That's very, very mean. So. You'll never reveal which one goes the extra mile.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. Honestly, Nikki
more
Cox,
loving?
I don't remember.
Who's more loving?
No, that's a tough one too.
Well, look, you've seen One Night in Paris, right?
Neither of them are loving.
No, they both are. Listen, honestly, I get along pretty well with both of them at this point. Nikki Cox and I, are really, and Jay Moore too. Jay Moore's a good guy.
But wait a minute, Kevin. You've seen One Night in Paris.
I actually haven't seen One Night in Paris, but I'm friends with Rich Solomon's a friend of mine.
Is that
Rich Solomon's an old friend of mine.
Is he a nice guy?
Very nice guy.
And what do you think of him marrying Pam Anderson?
I think he seems happy. Really, really.
You think that's real?
I don't think it's real. I know it's real. He's a good friend of mine.
Did there come a time when you saw both of the Hilton sisters naked together?
No.
That never happened. Never happened. You never saw them nude.
No.
Did there come a time when you found yourself attracted to Paris? It was a very attractive girl.
Right. Well, but I actually met Nikki through Paris, so Paris and I have been friends for a long time. But
did you try to get Paris and didn't work out?
No, she was always dated Rick.
Adrian, I think, banged her a couple of times, right? Adrian, you care about that?
I want to see if let's hear this.
Good for you. I mean, I would do that in a minute. How was that for you?
Well, I haven't, but
you haven't.
I imagine it'd be great.
You made out with her a little bit?
Never.
Nothing sexual. It was rumored that you were doing her, right?
We have a very professional relationship, in fact.
Why would you have a professional relationship with her?
Well, because I'm making a documentary about the media, and she has a very intimate
prominent role.
Yeah, she does.
All
so it's a natural
Good looking
subject.
as you are, she didn't come on to you at all? Come on, let's be serious.
I mean, we flirt, of course.
Of course, yes, absolutely. I'm going to get to your documentaries in a second. Let's get through Kevin's fights in sexual history first.
Yeah, because, you got right off of him socking the guy. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how we got off that. So when you punch this Brandon Davis character, who is a very, I guess, obnoxious guy, what happens there? Why would you punch him in the face?
I
like that.
The thing, it's always the people around those girls that I had the biggest problem with. He's all right now. He just at the time was just going through, I guess, some problems. I mean, obviously.
His substance abuse problems.
Whatever the case is, I just think that at that time he was going through a bad period, and I just was like,
was he rude
grouchy.
to your girlfriend?
No.
Was that why you punched him?
No, he was being rude to me and just about. And I just
what would someone say to you to get you that ticked off?
We were just at work and we worked late, and I showed up and I just was like sober. I was like, everybody else was like kind of drunk, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I don't know. He was
going to prove to the crowd that he's going to show everyone how hip he is by insulting you.
He was insulting everybody.
I see. Yeah.
But since then,
and then you walk up to him with a closed fist and you just smack him right in the head, right?
Well, not really.
I like that.
The story's gotten better with time, but
Did you knock him out?
No.
What did he do? Did he cry?
Was it as cool as Chris Rock and Tommy Lee?
It was
Kid Rock.
Or Kid Rock.
Unfortunately, it was not as cool as the Kid Rock Tommy Lee.
Have you done that a lot in your real life?
What?
Punch someone in the face?
No.
Do you ever have to go to anger management?
No.
Never had to do that.
That's never been a thing.
All right, now what about the time you punched out pro skateboarder Chad Muska at a club after...
Where do you guys get this?
He made a crack about Nikki, your girlfriend, Nikki Hilton.
Right.
And you punched him out. That's very manly. What happened there?
Chad's actually a good friend of mine.
You punched him out?
No, but he was out of control.
He was out of control.
But he's apologized.
What did he say?
Stupid.
Tell me what he said.
I mean, I shouldn't be saying this. But what? Yeah, I mean, this is satellite, right? We can say whatever.
You can say whatever you want.
He was in the DJ booth and he was like blurting things out to everybody for everybody to hear. Like, Nikki, I want to
suck your tits. Vagina.
Yeah, something like that.
Nikki, I want to suck your vagina.
Is that what the DJs say now?
The C word?
No, the
P word?
P word, pussy.
Yes.
All right, let me help you with this because we're playing Mad Libs. Make sure right. You're saying
like...
he yelled out over the loudspeaker.
Not over the loudspeaker, out to the crowd.
Nikki, I want to suck your pussy. That
Correct.
set you off.
Wow.
I mean, would it not?
Honestly, I would like to suck Nikki's pussy. Don't punch me.
But the worst thing is he and I are friendly. I mean, I got him on Entourage.
Right.
He was the guy that Kevin Dillon beats up his the car with the golf club.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
So I'm the one that got him that job. So he and I are friendly, but it was just one of those things, you know.
All right.
We were fine like a couple weeks ago.
Right. But once you gave him the shot in the face, he calmed himself down, and that was the end of that.
Right.
Boy, good for you.
And then he called, and like the next day, he like apologized, and I could have handled that differently, obviously.
Where did you punch him? In the nose or in the jaw? Be more specific.
It was through a little crack in a window. I don't even know.
You just landed one.
Yeah.
Boy, you're very manly. I mean, I respect
your fist goes right through the window and connects with whatever's on the other side.
No, it was a cutout. It was a cutout.
Adrian, are people jealous of you? I mean, here you are in Entourage, and you're really a very handsome guy. You know that. You're a leading man type with the good looks. Do you find that other men are resentful of you? I wouldn't want to hang out with you. I know I...
He wouldn't even talk to you at the gym.
Exactly. I would be very hideous standing next to you. I like to hang out with uglier guys than me, and that's not easy to find.
How do you think we got the job back?
Do you find that problem?
Honestly, the guys that I hang out with aren't. They're, not really superficial like that, and they do all right with the ladies.
He's got the same friends for a while, too.
Right. So you have these friends, and you're this good-looking guy growing up. Did you start very young with your sexual resume? I would imagine that the girls were all over you early on.
They were, but I was a late bloomer.
But you had a power over women, did you not? Did you recognize it? I'm being serious.
Were you an ugly duckling, or were you always
this kid was never
cute?
Ugly. Give me a break. How old were you when you got started in show business?
I was about 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
And were you the best-looking kid at the high school? I'll bet you female teachers came on to you.
No, I wish.
Never happened to you?
Never.
What about male teachers? I could see that, too. Right?
Yeah.
Guys hit on you, right?
Occasionally I'll have to, let them know that I'm not that way.
Right. So you get into show business at 18. And what's the first job you land?
Well, I didn't get my first job until I got serious with acting around 21, and that was driving me crazy. It was like I got two roles, actually, an independent called The Adventures of Sebastian Cole, and Drive Me Crazy.
And you get into show business, you get on this show Entourage, and things really break for you. Not only a good-looking dude, but you're on a hit show, right? This is very, very big in Hollywood. I mean, I can't imagine there's a party that you don't go to where you don't get laid.
Well, that's the show.
Yeah. That's the show, but I'm talking about real life. In a way, is it getting boring already? Like there's no chasing? I mean, have you ever been turned down by a woman? Well, especially in the last couple of years?
I mean, the thing about it is people expect me to be Vince.
Right.
They want me to be. I mean, they fantasize about my life. So I almost have to put it on for them a little bit in order to satisfy.
For example, you're dating a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model right now. This is very exciting to me. I mean, it really is exciting. The name is Melissa Keller. For 2 years you've been banging her? Do I have that right or am I lying?
We've been hanging out for a couple of years, yeah.
And when they say on and off, that means you can...
Oh, you take time off?
Yeah, they take time off.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's so wrapped up in you.
So
now,
anytime you meet somebody else, you take time off.
On and off.
You know what's so great about...
I'm not married.
No, you're not married, but what is the move? How do you convince a girl to be on and off? Is it that... I mean, this is a girl who could get any guy she wants. This is
pretty much.
Full, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And you can even treat her shitty and go, well, let's be honest. You can go out and bang a few broads and then say, okay, I'm ready to come back to you. This is a wonderful, wonderful story. And I would like to hear more about it.
No, You're ready to be on again.
Yeah. How do you meet a broad like this?
When you get lonely,
Right. How'd you meet a girl? You've seen her, obviously.
She worked on Entourage. I was there when they met.
Oh, is that the move?
I was standing right there when they met.
In fact, I took a step back and let Connolly hit on her first.
I both.
He couldn't close, so I had to come in.
Was it love at first sight on the set? I mean, how does this work?
I actually really did find her extremely interesting in
the van ride. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Where you take a van to the set.
Yes.
So we were shooting at the Earth Cafe, and we pile into the van, and you could just see him. He was kind of
these two.
He was zoning.
They're the two best looking people in the van, and there's no reason we shouldn't make love.
Right.
You just leave them alone when
that
happens.
I mean, and he was putting on the full court press. It was very obvious.
I've been in that position before in show business where you got to make the ugly people small talk. You know, while the two good-looking people do, they do whatever
Isn't
they do.
Isn't it great being the background to their romance?
And you got to be like, did you see the game last night? You want to go?
I remember in college, my roommate Lou was a good-looking guy, medical student, the whole deal, and I would always be in the background while he met the new girl.
Small talk.
Yeah, it was really great. You know,
was she the broad who was the waitress at the Earth Cafe? Am I thinking of this correctly? Then when she played the waitress,
Season 3, Episode 1.
She was a waitress.
No, she wasn't.
Kevin, did you beat off to this girl? I bet you did. I bet you went home and beat off.
No, but I did. I was campaigning for him to get with her.
How long does it take you? Like she's obviously trained on you and fixated because you're the star of the show, and she.
Oh, it's because he's the star of the show, not because he has any particular charm or.
What girl do you know cares about charm? So, how long does it take before the two of you become lovers?
She actually was quite flaky. I called her several times, and she
smart.
And good move.
Yeah, good move. Now, how do you So let's say you're going out a few months, and then you decide, look, I need to break up with you right now. Do you tell her do you actually have a phone call or an in-person meeting where you say it's time to break up, or is it just unsaid?
Well, it's not so much of a breakup. I mean, it's just about not really knowing whether or not you want to make that commitment, that full.
So when she reads in the paper
commitment.
But when she reads in the paper you're out with some other girl, does she say, "Okay, that's it, we're off now"? That's it.
The papers always lie. Come on.
But how do you tell her when it's time to start up again? Like that's got to be a weird move. You know what I mean? Or
he's mastered it.
There's no protocol. It's if you just open up and be honest and
that's right.
Talk about how you feel.
So are you on or off now?
Yeah, where are you at now? Robin needs to know.
Where are you right now?
Where are you at?
That's a very good question.
Are you on or off?
I think we're on.
Oh, you're not sure though.
No, I think we're on. Well, I'm in New York, so.
Oh, we've got the.
Does she live in New York?
You're on in California.
Oh, do you two argue about it? Is it a source of because it sounds to me like she's dating you and you're on and off again?
No, I'm very open. Like she can do whatever she has to do to find what she needs
to find. If you saw her with another guy, you'd have a hard time.
Would you be upset? Yeah.
I work on my jealousy, but I'm not a very jealous person.
Do you love her?
By nature.
Are you in love with her?
I don't really know what that means.
You know what it means.
I don't.
Oh my God!
I'm a very philosophical person. We can talk all day about definitions.
Ah, boy, that's cold stuff. Man.
Yeah, really.
I'm heartless.
Well, you've got a great resume. Let me brag for you.
What's on his list?
Well, I questioned some of these women.
All right.
Kirsten Dunst, you had sex with.
Why? No.
She's okay, but you could do much better, is what I'm saying. Did anyone ever say that to you while you were dating her? That you could do much better?
Why are you with her?
I didn't date her.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Never had sex with her?
No.
What about Melissa Joan Hart?
No.
Never had sex? Because I was going to say, she's not even in your league.
See, like I'm saying, people want me to be Vince, but I'm not.
But you're not. You've actually got it under control. Did you bang?
That's the story. Those are the stories that they sow about me.
When you appeared in a Britney Spears video, did you have sex with her?
No.
Wow. Well, look at the self-control you have.
Wait a minute. So not while the video was going on, but after?
Well, she was quite young at the time.
Oh, was she?
By the way, Adrian's got a pretty interesting story. He did a documentary about...
I saw that documentary.
I never saw the documentary, but I heard you interviewed about it, and it's kind of a sad story.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad were hippies, and they lived on some commune.
Yeah.
And then when you were like 6 years old, I guess your dad split, and you never saw him again. And you weren't even sure he was your dad because everyone in the commune was screwing each other so much that they weren't even sure.
It was a question.
And you did a documentary to go find your real dad. And this was before you were in Entourage. This had to be very, very painful to you. Do you think this is why you can't commit to the Sports
and
Illustrated
you don't know what love
swimsuit?
is.
Yeah, is that a whole thing?
Yeah, I think that definitely has something to do with it.
And then when you finally located your father,
The music.
he rejected you, right? Didn't he?
Did he reject me? No, actually.
But his wife did.
You haven't seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
You ought to see it.
I want to see it.
That's
But I'm
kind of the
asking you a
point.
question. Didn't your father's wife say, "Don't come around here anymore"?
Well, she was a little threatened by me. Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't want to give the movie away, but
Give it away.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
give it away. It's the biological offspring of the man you're with, of your husband, person you love.
When your father's wife met you, did she just say, "Screw this, I'm going to bed with you," because you were so good looking?
That'll show him.
Yeah.
Now, there's a movie.
That's a good movie. So when you met with your father, were you bitter and angry? Did you say, "How the fuck can you have a kid and never, ever want to see him"? Did you say that?
Well, the thing about the movie is I didn't really have any feelings about my dad, and everybody around me told me, "Oh, you must be bitter, you must be angry," and they would do the whole sob story thing. And in fact, I had a great life. My mother was extremely strong. She was a sufficient fatherly figure.
I think you're kidding yourself. I think you're in denial. I think that there had to be some hole in your heart that there's a man out there who's my father and he's alive and he doesn't want to see me.
Weren't you happy to meet him?
Why were you searching for him if you didn't care?
Well, I was curious.
Why were you curious if you didn't care, if you had such a great life?
Well, because I was looking for something.
You were looking
that I
for
could look up
something.
to.
You were looking for something.
Sure.
Of course
but, you know,
were.
ironically, there was a father figure in my life who, you know, because he wasn't my biological father, never felt obligated to stay around.
Right.
And he was the one who I actually felt most abandoned by.
He split too on you. Everyone splits on you.
Yeah. Well, no, he because
I see a kid like you, I wouldn't split on you. I'd say, this kid's a cash machine. If I get him in the movies.
You know, but the
You wanna be
parents
my
never know. They're the
surrogate
last to know.
Sure. Why not? So when
you know, I did see the movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And I got to say that it opens with at Father's Day at Yankee Stadium, right?
Go Yankees.
Right, exactly. So just that sentence means so much to me. Father's Day at Yankee Stadium. That evokes all these emotions in me. And I do feel on some level that, you know, if you don't understand that, you were robbed of something. And the other thing I got, and I mean, the beginning of it, you're clearly curious. You're asking all these guys with their fathers in Yankee Stadium. And the other thing I realized, this guy who was your father figure was clearly annoyed that you were trying to find this other guy. Is that the case, or did I misinterpret? He looked like he was pissed off that, you know, after this guy wasn't around, all of a sudden he's getting all this attention.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean,
that would piss me off.
He seemed aggravated.
Right.
There's a great scene where they're eating dinner together.
jealous,
It's a very real thing, and he's like, he
He's
wasn't
probably
here
like,
for
put all
this.
this time into you, and now you're busy looking for this other
Well, that's
club.
why you shouldn't even bother.
Right.
It was interesting.
And ironically, my biological father, had he been around, probably wouldn't have taken me to a Yankees game.
Right.
What is the name of that movie? I'm going to watch it.
Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark. I will see it. Because,
Yeah, it's good. It's well done. Yeah.
That has to be a very painful thing
It's
to go
wrenching,
looking
yeah.
for your father on film. It's a good idea, though. I got to say, that's a real cool idea. Tell most of us, though, what it's like, because most people don't care about anything else but vagina. Tell us what it was like when you had a threesome with two models. What was that like for you? You, yeah.
And I had a threesome with two
It says,
models.
according to the New York Post, Adrian had a threesome
Well, how would they know?
with two models from the website doubleagent.com at the Sundance Film Festival in 2006.
Oh, you did it at a film festival.
Now do you remember?
That's the tabloid media for you.
You know, there's two players in the room.
Documentary about that.
You are saying
yeah, exactly.
Page 6 is lying?
Your fucking glasses.
We have tape of it. There you are.
You know, there's two players in the room. When you ask that question, they don't know who you're referring
Which
to.
one of us is he talking about?
I'm saying they're speculating.
So you
I mean, basically, I think they mentioned some sort of sex toy business.
Yes,
right?
they did. Right. So you think it was just a publicity thing?
It's a publicity thing. I mean, I actually did go into, at Sundance, they give you a lot of free things.
Right.
And I went in, and there were these two girls, and we were all talking about the toys and having fun and joking around. And then we left with bags of stuff, and they put,
But you have had.
But they also plugged their store.
Right.
But you've had three ways, true?
They made the assumption that.
But you've had three ways.
I've done my fair share of experimenting in my
Kevin, you too?
Yeah.
You've had three ways too. Everyone is out there having three ways.
You, Bobcat, and Nick.
Have you ever done it with two guys and a girl?
No.
Adrian, have you ever done it with two guys and a girl?
I think at one point I tried at one, but my friend was a little too excited and it made me nervous.
It is weird to be in a room. I've never had a threesome with two guys, and a lot of guys on this show have. It's got to be weird to see your friend there nude, and he could even accidentally shoot a load on you.
How about a stranger?
It was awkward.
Right. So you did it, but it was hard for you.
No, I did not ultimately go through with it.
Really? You backed out?
I don't believe that's true. I'm going to bring in a lie detector on that one. I think you did go through it.
I'll take it.
Let's go to who the heck is on the phone? All right, let's say hi to Kevin from Manhattan. We are here with the boys from Entourage. Are we just celebrating Entourage or something new?
The Entourage coffee table book.
Where is the plug for that? Entourage coffee table book.
There's a coffee table book.
Oh, I see here. The book Entourage, A Lifestyle is a Terrible Thing to Waste, is in stores now. Do you guys get a cut of this action?
No.
Why are you pushing
HBO
it
again?
Well, because, we're team players.
Oh.
And they asked us to come out here and... Adrian's getting a call.
Oh, who's calling?
It's my alarm.
Adrian and Kevin
I'm supposed to be waking up right now, not 3 hours prior.
Adrian and Kevin will be signing copies of the book this morning at 10:30 at the HBO shop on 6th Avenue, Manhattan, and this afternoon at 1 o'clock at Borders at Columbus Circle. And girls, I would really recommend you get down there and try to have sex with these guys.
Is everybody hooked up right now, Kevin? Are you dating someone again? Or
I'm sort of,
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm on and off.
How about the broad on the show?
I never know how to work on and off. I really do wish you guys would come clean and explain on and off to me, because
It's just a hard
I
life.
feel guilty. I mean, I'm like, you know what? If I'm on with somebody, I'm on with them. That's it. And then I'm off permanently. I don't know how you keep coming in and out and get the girl hooked into that whole rhythm.
Sometimes it's not always the guy. Sometimes it's the girl that's doing the on and off thing.
Really? Well, no one's doing that with me.
Girls are the new guys.
That's right.
Girls are the new guys.
I have enough time arranging the on part. I'm not that anxious to get on the off part. All right, let's go to Kevin in Manhattan. Kevin.
Hey, Howard, how are you? Just two quick things. I met Kevin at a club called The Pool in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
And, Kev, I saw you with some smoking hot broads. Did anything come of that? We were very jealous, me and my friends.
Remember that night?
Yes, I do remember that night, bro. You guys were great.
You
By the
remember
way,
it. We're wondering if Kevin does.
On the phone, did he punch you when he saw you?
No, but I have a theory about that, too, Howard. That was my second point. Much like the caller said last week with Howie, with Artie, with the New Jersey attitude. Kevin is a typical Irish boy from Long Island, because I'm an Irish guy from Long Island. We're the same way. You cross us, and that's it. It's all over. It's game on right away.
That's all. You punch someone, and that's it. I mean, listen, I would punch people, too, but I'm too much of a
You're
pussy.
afraid.
That's why I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'll get beat up.
I grew up with Irish families who will beat the shit out of each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Did your family beat the shit out of each other a
No,
lot?
I mean, my brother is actually a cop in Suffolk County. He's a detective, so and he's big. He's far bigger than I am, so that was never really much of a match. So I would never want to do that. But no, the
I'm
Atlantic
a typical
City thing.
Jewish guy from Long Island. I sue people all the time. Constantly, I bring them into court. Yes.
The Atlantic City thing was fun. It was a good. That was a good Kevin.
That was a
Kevin
great
Dillon
night. Great
yeah,
night,
it was a
bro.
good time.
So you remember these girls?
Yeah, no, they were nice girls.
Yeah, and do you keep in touch with them? Are you on and off again with them?
I keep in touch with them, though.
All
I
right.
actually do keep in touch with one of the girls I met that night.
Yeah.
Let's go to Amy. Amy, you're on the air in Baltimore.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even believe I'm talking to you. I've been calling for 10 years. Howard, Robin, I love you. Artie, I love you. And you guys, I love the show. I want to know if you really smoke weed on that show. And if you don't, what is it that you smoke?
It's not weed.
It's not real weed. You can't smoke real weed.
It's at 7:30 in the morning.
Besides the fact that it's illegal.
Do you guys do weed in real life? Do you like smoking weed?
I did years ago. It kind of faded.
Adrian, you're not into weed?
I do, but I don't inhale.
Let's go to Jamie. Jamie in Worcester, Mass. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
One word for Massachusetts. Anyway, hey, Nikki Cox, did she have big tits back when you dated her, or did
Kevin, that's a legitimate question. When you were dating Nikki Cox, did she have big boobs?
Yes.
She did.
Yes.
Were they fake?
No.
They were not. They were real.
No, they ain't fake.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, oh, my God, Howard.
What's it like when the first time you get inside a girl like that? Do you say, oh, my God, let me pinch myself. Acting was the right career. I'm meeting these hot chicks.
Yeah.
You do.
Basically. And she was obviously way out of my league, especially at that time. She was unbelievable. And, at the time, I mean, seriously, she was like one of the most beautiful girls.
Why isn't she the biggest star in the world?
She was at that time, like the hottest.
When you
one of the hottest girls.
When you first got her, how old was she?
Howard.
Like 17.
Yes.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Look at you.
Howard.
Did you have anal sex with her?
No.
You did not have anal sex. 17's young for anal sex.
That is young, yes.
Robin was handling anal sex. How old were you in your first anal sex?
I was 25.
25. Yeah, you need to be the 25-year-old to introduce that kind of
No, because by the time I met her, she was only 21, and that would have been in the... And
was she dating Bobcat?
Yeah, she dated Bobcat. Used to come by our set all the time. But I had an awful. I had an awful relationship with her because, like, this big black guy who was around all the time. He overheard me say the N-word.
Oh,
but
Why would that upset him?
But I was saying it as a joke.
That's different.
No. Honestly, he was a black guy with green eyes.
It's always a joke.
He was a black guy with green eyes.
All right, let's...
And you know the expression, he gets more pussy than a green-eyed N-word?
Hello?
Yes.
I don't know
We answered the question, Jamie.
Are you the Irish guy? I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
Celeste is on the phone. She says she'll have an orgasm if she talks to Adrian and Kevin. Go ahead, Celeste.
Oh, God. Oh, God. No, I can't believe you guys are on there. I'm so happy.
Is Celeste the older woman?
Celeste, let me ask you something. Are you touching yourself right now?
Masturbating.
Are you in your wheelchair?
No.
Do you want the guys to talk dirty to you?
Yeah.
Would you actually orgasm on the air?
Oh, yeah.
You would. She doesn't sound bad.
Oh, please. No.
I don't hear you orgasming. Guys, say something sweet
Celeste.
and sexy. Go ahead. Talk to her.
Adrian,
please.
you talk to her, buddy.
Adrian, go ahead.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi.
Nice. Very orgasmic.
Celeste, get into it with Adrian. Come on. Let's go.
He loves this stuff.
Celeste, what do you dream of doing to him?
I dream of sucking his cock.
Oh, God.
Right to the point.
Right to the point.
Adrian, describe your penis to Celeste so that we can hear her have an orgasm. Is it long and thin or more beer can-ish?
It's
Adrian's getting hard, I can attest to that.
It's like John Leslie's perfect cock. I put my mouth on the tip.
Well, I'm blushing.
Go on, Celeste.
I'm uncomfortable personally.
Adrian, are you uncomfortable with phone sex?
On the radio, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you guys, I didn't know you were
I haven't gone that far out there yet.
Pretend you're in a scene. If I told you were on Entourage right now and there was a woman on the phone who you had to have phone sex with,
you're
could you do
madly
it?
in love with a girl who's traveling.
I mean, certainly you can't do that for my audience and let these people have an orgasm. Very selfish of the two of you. I'm a little...
I'm not good at improv.
Right, let's go to
I just
Rich.
froze up.
Rich, go ahead.
I wanted to help her. I wanted to help her. I just froze up.
Yeah, Kevin, are you...
And by the way, Celeste, I will give you
19-year-old?
Wait, say again, Rich?
Yeah, I was wondering, is it true that Kevin's banging that hot 19-year-old from Dancing with the Stars, Juliana?
If you are, I want to smell your fingers. Are you dating the girl from Dancing with the Stars?
Which girl is that?
The blonde, the young 19... Are you son of a bitch. She's my fave.
I met her, and I mean, I just met her.
You banged her?
I just met her, but she's amazing.
Are you going out with her?
I've gone out with her a couple times, yeah.
Oh my
Oh, you motherfucker!
Well, now this guy wants to pleasure himself.
Punch me in the face because I'm about to say something.
No, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Wait a second. Hold it a second. You're dating the blonde chick?
I didn't say I'm dating. Don't
that chick has the greatest. That chick has the greatest body I've ever seen.
She's the most amazing thing I've met in years.
I would marry her.
Is she a dancer or is she a contestant, Howard? I don't know.
She is a professional dancer.
Oh.
She's 19.
Who's she dancing with? The soap opera guy?
The race car driver.
Oh, the race car driver.
The race car driver, who I think is trying to get in her pants, too.
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not
How
sure,
did you
but
get a date with her?
I met her out, and, I just met her somewhere. And funny, ironically enough, she said, "You want to dance?" I said, I don't dance. I didn't know that she was. And then I watched the show. I was like, wow, now I really don't dance. But I've gone out with her a couple times, and
where do you take a girl like that?
No, we went out to dinner a couple times or something.
Oh, look at you. You take her to dinner, huh? Then where do you go? Back to your Malibu
your
pad?
bachelor pad?
You got a bachelor pad? What kind of pad you got?
I got a house. What a house?
You got a little house going, huh?
Yeah, I got a
look
nice
at you,
house.
son of a bitch. I didn't know you were in that league, man. I bow to you.
Listen, she's fantastic. And I'm actively pursuing her, but who knows?
What do you mean? Is she seeing some other dudes? Are you on and off
I don't
again?
know. I mean, I'm just trying to,
What do? You kick your roommates out for the night?
I don't have any roommates.
You got your own place?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I would hope to have their own joint by now.
Adrian, have you met her yet?
I haven't.
I was just telling him about her in there, though.
He hasn't brought her to meet the family yet.
Do you watch Dancing with the Stars at all?
I've never seen the show.
How did he know? Is that caller? Is that caller still
I
on
hung
there?
up on him.
How did he know? How did they know? I didn't know anybody.
Probably
I like
her,
but I like
or
her.
something.
How do you meet a chick like that? You're at the club.
I met her out.
Where are you out that you meet her?
I met her at Hyde.
Hyde.
That's a club?
It's a club, yeah. That's like the...
Son of a gun.
He picks up women in clubs.
I see how they know. There's a picture of you and her in Us Weekly.
It's not in Us Weekly, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. This girl is a 10. She is a 10. She is a perfect.
She's a perfect 10.
She's a perfect.
I'm going to tell you something.
She's fantastic.
I think she might be a 12.
She might be.
There's such a thing.
Yeah. No, but
is she a moron or is she kind of bright?
She's the sweetest, smartest. I mean, she's perfect.
He's really laying it on thick, isn't he?
Yeah, but
he must not have banged her yet.
I'm actively. That's the way it is. I'm actively.
So you haven't banged her yet?
No, of course not. I'm actively.
What do you mean? Of course not. I would get her in one night. I would say I must have you. This is it.
But I'm trying to. I would. I like her. I do. I can't believe.
Did she say she likes you?
I think no, but I think she does. I think she might a little bit.
Has she seen some other dudes too?
I don't think so. I mean, who knows? Again, you have to. You never put anything past anybody.
Do you speak to her on the, do you speak to her on the phone every day?
Yeah.
You do? Oh,
I do.
Fuck.
No, she's great.
Who's hotter, her or Adrian's girl? The swimsuit model.
One thing Adrian and I always said, we like to. Thank God.
Different types?
It's so far one way, and it's like ridiculous how different.
Yeah.
So it's great.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great for work because who we talk to, it's like
I'm sure Adrian would throw up at the sight of this Dancing with the Stars.
The real opposite.
But generally,
you kissed her already?
No, I haven't.
You did. You're lying.
I mean, if he's calling her the smartest person in the world too,
I didn't say she's. I said that she's not by any means any dummy. She's really like
you can have a conversation.
She's with it. She's and she's very independent. I mean, she's been dancing.
Is she American? Because most of those dancers are from somewhere else.
She's American. She can dance, boy.
Boy, and you should see she's almost naked on this show.
She's great.
This girl's got some body, and she's a good dancer. Not that
she's a great dancer.
She's great, Howard. Not just good.
I hope she's not listening to this. This will be the end of my pursuing.
I would give it to her so hard. She wouldn't even know what hit her.
She's in bed with Kobe Bryant.
Oh man, I would be.
No, she's yeah.
I would give it to her very hard and very fast. Good for you. Good for you, man. I got to tell you, that's a major score.
Now I got to watch this fucking show to see.
Yes, you got to see.
No, you have to watch. You have to watch the show for her.
Yeah, it's true.
And vote for her.
I never even see the guy she's dancing with.
Are you voting? That's really in love.
I'm voting.
I would vote for her.
You got to vote.
Hey, guys, put up a picture of her. Find some picture of her on the internet.
You have to vote.
What's that chick's name? I don't even know.
Julianne.
Oh, if you vote for her, she better bang.
I vote. I vote anyway.
Better for you.
And I actually went to a Dancing with the Stars.
See, now that's an episode of Entourage.
Vote against her. Better for you if she loses.
Not.
Take her down a little bit, right?
She's not going to lose anytime soon. She's not going off the show anytime soon.
Adrian, you better get in there with some sex stories. Kevin's blowing you out of the water. I never expected it to go this way.
He's the real Vince. Nobody knows this, but it's the truth.
Look at you. I hail you.
He's been at it longer. He's more experienced.
Is your brother the cop
He
go
goes
nuts
to
from all these
clubs.
chicks you're banging? He must be like, I got to get out
Do you
there.
bring these girls home?
Yeah, I brought them all home at some point.
Oh,
to
my
Massapequa.
goodness,
They
really?
go back to my mom's.
Poor brother's probably got to beat off to some of these chicks. Poor guy, working his ass off as a cop.
Your dad. What does your dad say?
Dad punched him in the face.
My dad passed away a long time ago, but he'd be
proud of you.
He didn't see this success.
He would be proud of you.
He would be proud, I'm guessing.
Well, this is a keeper. Unless she's a royal pain in the ass.
She's not at all. And you know the thing is they what the hours on that show are insane, and we work long hours. And I know what long hours are.
Yeah.
These people, it's insane because the dancers decide, the stars
routines.
decide how long they work. So if Mark Cuban decides, hey, I want to rehearse today for 10 hours, they have to do that.
Wow.
Or I have to go here on business and I want to dance during the day, they have to go with.
Where is your dad buried?
Long Island.
You give me the location. I'm going to go over with pictures of this girl to your
You
father's
gonna
grave.
put him on the grave?
I want him to see. Part of me believes he needs to
He
see.
sees.
Hopefully he's watching.
He's with you. He's with you.
Can we cue that music? Cue that music.
I got a feeling you banged this chick. Wow.
But I do like her, though.
What is it, Ralph?
Is she going to be scared?
I think what he's saying, he likes the fact she works long hours so she doesn't bother him too much.
No, it's not true. I wish she didn't work as many hours. She's tough to...
He can't hook up with her.
Ralph, you know which chick he's talking about?
Yeah, she's hot.
Get off.
She's not a 10,
You're officially
Ralph?
gay.
Wait a minute, Ralph.
You're
Ralph out of here.
officially gay.
Listen, you could go to Scores.
No, you couldn't. Ralph, you got the worst taste.
Ralph, you're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. I back you up.
cut Ralph
Let
off.
me ask
Get
him,
Ralph
is
off the
she
line.
not, what is she? She's not a 10, Ralph?
She's a 12.
Ralph, if this girl was standing in here, you would not know what to do with yourself.
Oh, believe me, he'd be beating on.
He'd be trying to cut off her dress.
And I swear to God, I'm not just saying this, but personality-wise,
a 10
makes her a 15.
Jesus.
What's so great about her personality?
Do you know her, Ralph?
No,
what are you talking about?
I don't know.
What are you
He
talking
knows
about?
her.
I think Kevin's going to punch Ralph.
Get
This is
Ralph.
great.
He's going to punch Ralph through the
Ralph
phone.
better watch it, Ralph. Watch it, Ralph.
Don't speed in Suffolk County, Ralph.
All right, thank you, Ralph.
Wait, I didn't tell you what I was calling. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
All right,
All
go
right,
ahead.
so listen. So I'm a fan of the show from the beginning. I used to be a bigger fan. I think I know you guys don't write the show, but the problem with the show is it's getting too bogged down with like this Artie stuff, and it should just be about you guys running out and banging chicks like you're doing.
Well, you know...
Who cares about his gay assistant and his boyfriend? There was a whole show about that. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Look, here's the thing. When you do a TV show and you do a lot of episodes, there's going to be times where people are going to be heavy and people are going to be light. And look, Piven's won back-to-back Emmys. I mean, to deny
What
the guy
about
in
that? Why are
screen
you
time-
guys not winning Emmys? What's going on here, Adrian?
We're the straight
We're
men.
not very,
Kevin
yeah.
Dillon should win an Emmy.
Kevin Dillon
is
should
amazing.
definitely win.
Yeah, I
He
totally
should definitely.
agree.
He got robbed. But,
You
know,
guys going to get into movies or what? That's where the real action is.
Adrian's been in movies.
What
are
movies
you
you been
talking
in, Adrian?
I took a break this year because I'm making another doc.
He was in The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, that was a good
role,
movie.
It was
I
a great
love
movie.
that movie.
Yeah.
It was a great movie,
Yeah.
but they made you too whiny. You were just like, you know.
That was a
he was
massive
kind of
hit.
a passive, almost
Yeah, you were like a
girly
whiny
boy.
bitch. You're like, eh.
Who's talking about whining?
Is this Ralph?
That's
Ralph
Ralph.
doesn't like other
Hey,
whiners.
Ralph, take it easy over there, buddy.
Well, Adrian's an actor. He doesn't create the part in the sense that he writes it.
He doesn't write it. He
Yeah.
looks at the lines. He does the thing.
Yeah,
does.
I didn't like seeing him in that role. It wasn't good.
Oh, thanks, Ralph.
Wasn't a good role for you.
Adrian, what about Kevin? What's on tap? Now you got the Entourage fame. What are you guys going to do?
I did
next?
it. I'm actually working on a movie right now called He's Just Not That Into You. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh
Jen
yeah,
Aniston.
Oh, yeah,
Is that a big problem in Hollywood? Everyone's always saying to you, like, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? Nothing's ever good enough. You know what I mean, Adrian? Is there pressure here?
There is a lot of pressure, but I don't really listen to that. I'm actually doing something quite contrary to what people want me to do. I'm making a documentary. It's kind of obscure.
And that's what he does. He's good at it. He'll do it.
Well, with
his
you
next one
guys,
will be
I
good.
never say, what are you doing next? I would say, who are you doing next? So you know what I mean? But I'm excited for you. The book Entourage, A Lifestyle is a Terrible Thing to Waste, is in stores now. All right, here quickly for your edification, Robin. Here is the Howard TV guys have pictures of Kevin dancing with the Dancing with the Stars girl. There she
Oh,
is.
she's very cute.
Look at that.
Look at Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that personality.
It comes right out of the photograph, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Man, she is hot. Oof.
No, you need to see.
Yeah,
you
Ralph.
need to see. you need to
we can see her in Scores, Ralph.
You
Is
need
Ralph
to
still on
see.
the phone?
No, you need to see a picture of this girl in her outfits from Dancing with the Star. That's nothing.
Tell Ralph to come down to Borders, 1 o'clock. What an Adrian level.
Just punch him when he gets there. Just identify yourself.
Jessica, quickly, take 2 more phone calls and I'll let you boys out of here. Go ahead.
Isn't that girl? Hey, Kevin, it's Jessica Hahn, honey. Hi.
Hey, Jessica.
Did you bang Jessica?
No.
No?
No, he used to work for Ronnie.
Ron.
And,
Ron Levitt.
Yeah. and
How
that's
are you,
right,
Jessica?
isn't he? What, guys?
How are you?
I'm good, but you know what, Howard? Kevin would be on set, like, with Nick. Nick is, like, ridiculously gorgeous. And all these girls would come up to me and go, can you set me up with Kevin? If you knew the women he could have, or I mean, it was insane. He was so loyal to Nick, and he's just... Everybody wanted Kevin. He's still.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't.
Well,
do
Jessica,
him.
did you know that Nikki was with Bobcat?
Yeah, I was there.
She was a witness.
I was with Ronnie. Ronnie created the show. And
All right. Thank you, Jessica.
Wait.
Yes.
Kevin came up for me and he hugged me. He thought I was Nikki. Remember, Kev?
Yeah.
And from back. From
you say from behind, you look just like her. Okay.
That's quite a compliment.
All right, fine. Thank you,
love you.
Jessica.
Bye,
Love you.
Jessica,
Yes,
love you.
Matt, go ahead. Last call. Go ahead, Matt. Yes. No, Matt. All right, then
Matt.
we'll go to Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Howard, how are you?
Okay.
I just want to make a comment. Did anybody in the studio notice that Robin's got that giddy, creamy-side voice again? Because there's a couple young guys in there.
Are you wet over these guys, Robin? Is that what's going on? Are you excited by the boys' appearance?
I'm a huge fan of the show.
You are.
Robin's on the prowl.
I'm not on any prowl.
Anybody here you want to date? You want to?
Get
Which of
out of
these
here.
two? Which of these 2 do you want? Or you want them both?
Can I have both?
You want me to double team you? Boys, go double team Robin.
Howard, tell her to stand up and check her chair for what?
Sure. I'm much more professional than that.
She is a professional. You're making a big mistake. All right, come on. Last comment. Go ahead, Eric. You're on the air in Fall River, Mass.
Hey, guys, what's happening?
Hey.
What's up? Hey, how big of a dickhead is Jeremy Piven? Is he really bald?
The gentleman you work with, Jeremy Piven, is he a dickhead?
No.
No, you like the guy, you all get along?
Absolutely.
All
He's a
right.
good guy, and, he's doing well for all of us.
There you go. All right, Eric. There's your answer.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Good question, Eric.
These are the kind of hard-hitting questions you have to answer on this show. Well, boys, I'm proud of you. You're doing well with your show. How many seasons has it been?
Coming up on getting ready to start 5.
And what do you have to do? You have to memorize all the lines, or you put them on cue cards? That's what I would do. I'm lazy.
Memorize.
Is it hard to memorize those lines?
Not really.
You guys are already you're already finished shooting, right? The writer's strike is not.
The strike is going to affect us greatly.
Of course. You know, I understand why a writer's strike would affect you guys. Your show is a written show that you act. But I'm reading in the paper today that Letterman and Leno have to stop production of their show if there's a writer's strike.
Who's going to write the monologue?
But can't those guys go up and do a show?
Didn't they used to write everything for themselves?
1 or 2, probably, but how many can you do without,
Also, they're in the Writers Guild as well.
Oh, so they can't write.
Yeah, they can't.
But they can improv. They can get up and improv if they want.
They can't get over and have you guys on and interview you without
Letterman,
writers?
just come out and talk to us.
I think it's about the monologue.
I bet you the show would be better without writers on those kinds of shows.
Oh, the writers don't want that to happen.
But Regis Philbin, he's going to do a show. He's not going to stop his show because there's no writer.
There's nothing written there.
Like Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart.
Yeah, forget those.
Why don't you take over, Howard?
Let me tell you something. I would just to prove something. I don't need a writer. I'll sit there and I'll entertain the masses, and I'll get higher ratings than all of them.
How long is the opening monologue? How long is the opening monologue of those shows?
Too long.
Like 5 minutes.
Does Letterman do more than 2 jokes? Because when he had that old show, he only do 2 jokes.
He can't come up with 2 jokes on his own? I mean, come on. Do you want to speak to Ralph again? He wants to get back. Do you want him or not?
Let's watch. Ralph is going to.
All right, Ralph, go
It's
ahead.
going to be a problem now. Ralph, I'm only kidding.
What is the problem, Ralph?
Ralph, I was kidding with you.
That's all right. Hey, yeah, Piven used to be bald. He's got like
He
more
used
hair
to be.
now than you.
All right.
Is this Ralph or the other guy?
This is Ralph.
Eric?
This is
the
Ralph.
other guy, Ralph. So I got some free fashion advice for Adrian on the show. You have like a narrow upper body, and they put you in tight T-shirts and makes your hips look wide. You should be careful of that.
Ralph, 1 o'clock at Borders. 1 o'clock at Borders.
Adrian, what about that? Are your shirts too tight on the show, Entourage?
And do they make your hips look wide?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Ralph, you're looking really gay right now.
No, I know, but I do wardrobe and fashion. I'm trying to help the guy out. I like him.
All right, so you're saying...
Thank you.
So would you listen to this advice? Do you sense that Ralph has some
No, but now I'll
legitimacy?
develop an insecurity because of it. Thanks.
Thanks for making me feel bad about our star, making me feel bad about
I may
himself,
not never
Ralph.
get laid again.
How many guys really worry about how their hips look anyway?
What guys are looking at Adrian?
Ralph.
I'm just trying to make him feel insecure because he's good looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that I go along with.
Trying to knock him off his game.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Ralph.
You know, I got a question for Adrian. That guy from your documentary, your best friend, I like that guy.
He was awesome.
You take care of him, you get him laid? I like that kid.
You know, he's actually engaged, so he's off the market.
His fiance wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
See, but, you know, that's the thing. He's got a friend who could step on the pussy bomb. You get hit with some shrapnel.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he caught a good one.
I told Adrian he's got to bring him into the new documentary. Got to try to work him into the new doc.
Yeah, he was
a sidekick.
He was fun in that.
This friend of yours, how's his upper body? Is it narrow?
Well, he's actually shirtless in my doc, so why don't you watch the doc?
Are his hips big compared to his
He's dressed just right in the documentary.
Oh, he is dressed
I don't know who
right.
did the fashion there.
I am going to watch your documentary. How do I get that documentary?
I could get you a copy.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
I mean, I can get it in a video store?
Not yet.
Oh,
We'll have one sent over, though.
All right, I do want to see it. All right, one more plug. The book is Entourage